Sue would beat Johnny Storm so quick it happened in a post-credit scene.
I agree.
Thor 5 is actually rumored to be in development right now, and it's in development without the director of Ragnarok and Love and Thunder, Taika Waititi, as it fucking should be. Right? Like, come on.
They tried to make him too funny, and then ultimately ended up in this atrocity that's a fucking Thor Split, and now we gotta reinvent
But you have never recovered from that Thor Split, man. So I'm hoping this happens for you, Adrian.
Yes.
I'm selfishly.
So do I. I need to get rid of this nightmare that I'm having every night.
Yep. Because every night you wake up and not the Thor Split.
Maybe not every night.
Not the Thor Split. Who is your favorite Robin?
When I think of Robin, I think Dick Grayson.
I would say the same. My mind goes there first. Favorite, though, my favorite is Damian.
Absolutely.
Like, I know if Damian's in the comic and the animation as Robin, we're going to have some fun.
Right.
Cillian Murphy is the actor that people wanted him to play Doom.
Oh.
He's the guy from Inception, the one who sleeps on the plane. They go up inside his head and mind fuck him for 24 hours. And then the guy gets his kids back, and he likes to spin a top. That's Inception for you. That's a movie badly explained, right? Have you seen Inception?
No. Is that with
Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yeah. It's because of him.
What?
I don't like him, dude.
I
don't like it.
You ever seen the Titanic?
I did. But
dude, Inception is it's an all-time great, bro. Black Panther would beat Batman. All right. Welcome to Only Comics. I'm Mike. That's Adrian.
What's up, man?
What's up, bro?
New England weather, dude. I do not know what to wear, when to wear. It's hot. It's cold. We had one actual summer day the other day. We did have one summer day. It was like 8,000 degrees outside. Yep. Now we're back into Antarctic weather.
Yeah, it's like fucking 60 degrees and rainy but you know what? It's Father's Day weekend, though.
Yeah, yes,
so
sir.
Hey, happy Father's Day. You're a father.
Happy Father's Day to you, sir.
Thank you. And happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. So
whether you know it or not.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, for those of you that know it, extra happy Father's Day. But those of you that don't, you could be like Bruce Wayne. Yeah. And one day, a little 12-year-old badass shows up to your door, or 13, whatever he was, a little motherfucker named Damian Wayne. He shows up, and then you become a father. You never know.
You go.
Or you have the traditional way. Like
sure.
So speaking of that, Adrian, I put together a little list here of some comic book fathers, okay? So, and there are two different lists. There's and these are just based off of top 10 by popularity. Now, full disclosure, I asked AI who the most popular ones were.
Sure.
So if you go, that's not the most popular, dude, relax. We're doing a podcast trying to have some fun, bro. Right. Everyone fucking lighten up a little bit. Jesus. You get so upset, So you
don't understand.
Have fun or don't. Or don't. Just move along, motherfucker. Anyways, so...
Matter of fact, don't have fun. Give me all of your money, and I'll have fun for you.
There you go. So, Adrian, these are the top 10 most popular fathers of other superheroes, okay?
Got it.
And I just, you let me know out of these 10, like, who would be your number one? If you said, you know what? You get to trade fathers. That'd be a father I'd like. You tell me which one of these 10, okay? All right. So number 10, you got Lucius Fox. He's the father of Luke Fox, right? We know him more from Batman's, helper, assistant, kind of R&D type guy.
The one that created all of his shit.
Yeah, keeps him alive and gives him a chance to fight people like Superman, things of that nature.
Until he goes against something that he's, morally against.
Yes.
But then there's that,
Number 9. Now, this guy's also a supered individual, Magneto. So this is, I guess, depend on when you're reading comics, because one point he was their father, then he wasn't. But the father or father figure to Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. You got Jor-El, your boy Clark Kent's real father, right? You have Alfred Pennyworth. Not technically Batman's father, but it's kind of that father figure, right?
Sure.
Reed Richards, dude. He's a father to Franklin and Valeria.
Well, he can't even keep his own mother, so keep Franklin's mother around. So I don't know.
So he's probably not going to be your first choice. No. Jack Murdock, bro. You got Matt Murdock's dad, Daredevil.
Yep. The one that didn't get hit with the radioactive isotope.
Yes, that part. Uncle Ben, he's a father figure to
he
Peter.
Was.
Yeah, for a few weeks. It's just out quick, bro. You know what happens. Odin, Thor's dad, Odin, get all that.
Shape-changing world fucker, yep.
Yes, yeah, yep. Swear to Odin's beard, as Thor would say. And then Jonathan Kent, Clark Kent's actual, father who raised him, not the one who shipped him off to another planet.
Yep.
And then Thomas Wayne, maybe one of the most iconic fathers in, comic history. We've seen him die more times than I don't even know what. Like, it's insane. He's died more times in comics than they've, continued this Mission Impossible franchise or redid Fast and Furious movies. It's up there. I don't know which one. Of those 10, dude, who would you, wouldn't mind as a father, Adrian?
I'll probably go with the Lucius Fox.
Okay. Yep. All right. Tech genius. He's Wayne, boss of Wayne Enterprise.
Right.
Right. Now, you didn't just pick him just because he's black, right?
Nah.
Okay.
No, because every person that you listed, there's a backstory with him. And then some little,
he probably is. Absolutely. He's probably the best father on here. I mean, the only other one I would say, Jonathan Kent, he's a stand-up guy.
Sure. Yeah.
And then you got Thomas Wayne, but he's only going to be around until you're about 9 years old. So it's like, what do you want?
And Jonathan Wayne, he'll be around depending on who wrote him.
True.
Right?
True.
Because, in the first Superman in the 70s, he died when he was a teenager.
Right.
When he was the 50-year-old playing a teenager. But then another, he went on for a while, but eventually he goes out.
True. I think Lucius Fox is a solid choice, too. All right. Now, these are, this next list here are superheroes who are fathers. Now, the list is a little fucked up because Reed was on there, but, I don't make the rules here. We don't really have many rules. We're rule fluid here.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, number 10, Aquaman, Arthur Curry. He's father to Arthur Jr., right?
Did you know in one comic book, to save his son, his arms were stuck in something. He had to cut it off in order to be able to save his son. Yep. And that's why he ended up with a hook.
Really?
That's a dad.
That is a good dad. Yeah. All right, Aquaman. Your boy Black Panther, T'Challa. In some stories, he becomes a father, right? Green Arrow, Oliver Queen.
A white child, apparently.
Yes, yeah. I don't know how that works. I don't know, dude. I don't know. Ant-Man, Scott Lang. He's a father of Cassie Lang, who becomes Stature, right? Reed Richards, we already talked about. He's on here twice, dude. Luke Cage is the father of Danielle Cage. So in the comics, him and Jessica Jones end up having a child.
Of course they did.
Yep. They about tried every episode, Exactly. So Wolverine, Logan. Now he was he's kind of that we made a kid with your DNA type shit, know. So but hey, he was the father of Laura and Dakin.
Who's the mother?
Well, Laura was a test tube baby, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I don't know who the mother to Dakin was. That's someone who's actually been requested as a hidden gem a few times, and I may be saying the name wrong. Dakin.
All right.
I don't know. We are not experts here on Only Comics, Adrian.
I'll try to write it down and remember next time.
Yeah. Add it to the list.
Who's this? Wolverine's
son, yeah. Yep. But we are not experts. Someone was like, how do you not know who Christopher Priest? Because we're not experts, motherfucker. Right. We're only fans.
Priest, isn't that kid that played in 90210? No, that's Jason Priest.
Christopher Priest was the comic guy who made the white Black Panther.
Okay.
Yeah, but we're not experts. We're only fans.
Yeah, no, well, you might be.
No, we're just fans. There you go, on Only Comics. Spider-Man, Peter Parker becomes the father of Mayday Parker in the comics, right?
That's a cool name.
It is, yeah. And Superman, Clark Kent also becomes a father, right? To John Kent, Superboy. That's a little weird. That's some stuff going on there too. But anyways, and then Batman, Bruce Wayne, father Damian Wayne shows up on his doorstep, and he takes him in.
Yes.
And so out of these, this is a different list, bro.
You're right.
Who'd you pick
as a substitute father?
Yeah. Yep.
Ooh. Well, I'm going to go with Bruce Wayne because of the resources.
There you go. Yo, yeah, you're rich, right?
I was going with Bruce Wayne. Hey, trying to take our shit. I want to take theirs back.
Absolutely. I was going to Bruce Wayne anyways because he's my favorite. Sure. That's how it works. Sure. So, well, that's our 2 lists of Father's Day. Again, our 2 lists of fathers. Happy Father's Day, everybody out there. We're going to get into our regular show, Adrian. We got some news and rumors.
All right.
So there's a lot going on this week. Even changed some, aesthetics here around the studio.
Yeah.
People call this Marvel shill. So to prove them wrong, I hung up a big picture of Marvel characters. So exactly.
The full
lineup, dude. So, and we got some DC stuff going on today, by the way.
Oh, we do?
So on Comic Moments, I was looking back and realized every comic moment we've ever done was Marvel because they're better.
I mean, yeah.
It is. Hey, one's got to be better, right?
Listen, if you don't think that you did in the last 10 years to put out a new logo, you're probably going to get shat up on.
Look at you, Shat, bro. You're using the new terms.
There you go.
So, we hung that up, but on comic moments this week, we're going to dig into Batman Hush a little bit. So,
okay.
Which we've reviewed, did a deep dive here, but there's some moments I wanted to go through. So that's coming up later. We have a Sinners review.
Yeah.
We're going to do some of that here. So, all right, let's get into news and rumors this week. Marvel so last time we saw Thor was in the atrocity called Thor Love and Thunder.
Yes.
Yep. Now, if you were Chris Hemsworth, if you were playing Thor, would you kind of want the chance to redeem yourself?
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
But you wouldn't want to go out like that.
Nah, nope.
So we've heard a lot of rumors of, Thor showing up in some future Marvel movies, obviously Doomsday. But Thor 5 is actually rumored to be in development right now. And it's in development without the director of Ragnarok and Love and Thunder, Taika Waititi, as it fucking should be. Right? Like, come on.
Isn't he underwater and on a bike still just pedaling somewhere with the sunset? I don't know.
Yeah, him and Andy Muschietti. Remember that?
Yeah.
Man? He was a steady here every week on him. Then he just rode off into the sunset. There's one of these insider reporters says that Marvel's developing a solo movie for Hercules as well with the same guy. Remember at the end of Thor Love and Thunder? I don't even know if you stuck around to see this, but in that movie, Thor steals Zeus's lightning bolt, right? So Zeus sends Hercules after Thor.
Sure.
Now, what do you think about Hercules as a character?
I don't.
Right. Like he's pretty lame.
Right. I mean, I know him from mythology.
Yep.
Greek mythology more so, and he's more impressive as a Greek demigod than he is as a Marvel comic character.
Right. So it's another one of those things where you go like, who's asking for this? Right. And that can go either way, but do we need a Hercules movie in the MCU?
Well, I mean, who asked for the Thunderbolts?
True.
Which, surprising. Who asked for Thor?
Right.
And then he's beat out even Spider-Man, the more popular character in Marvel history. He beat out Spider-Man as far as an actor playing more than 3 movies with a character, right? So he's coming up on what, 5?
Yeah.
Plus all the other comics
Avengers
that he's been in and stuff, right? So who asked for Thor? So I'm going to get off of the who asked for.
Okay. You're turning the new leaf.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, because I've been surprised. I've been disappointed. The Eternals,
Yep.
Madam Web.
Yes.
But out of that, we've also got some very good movies. So
True. Now, this would not be the first time Hercules was in, movie theaters, tried to bring to live action. Your boy Dwayne Johnson played Hercules. Ever seen that movie?
I have. Also, Schwarzenegger before him.
Schwarzenegger did. That was back in 1970. Yep, Hercules in New York.
Yep. Oh my God, that was horrible, dude. They had to have a dialect coach. They actually voiced over his voice.
Really?
Yeah, because he could not talk English at all.
Dude, he's come a long way.
Yes, he has.
Even Lou Ferrigno played Hercules.
Yes.
Yep, back in the 80s. So there's been a lot of chances or a lot of tries with this character. I don't think that Hercules does not show up on a lot of people's best of favorite lists. Like you don't hear anyone talk about these. Is it fair to say they never really nailed this and there never was that mass interest in this character?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, my favorite was Lou Ferrigno.
Okay.
So out of the 3, it would be Lou Ferrigno, The Rock, and then Schwarzenegger wouldn't even. I mean, you mentioned him because he played it, but he wouldn't even be. He's not Hercules-esque.
Yeah.
He's definitely Conan.
Sure.
But he's not Hercules.
Yeah.
But yeah, they really haven't nailed him. So there's a lot of wiggle room for him.
Now, would it make more sense to have Hercules in a Thor movie and not say full Deadpool Wolverine formula, but something where they're interacting throughout the movie versus a solo Hercules movie?
It would make sense to test the waters by having
that way,
following the story of Zeus sending Hercules after Thor. And then, depending on how that works out, then maybe have a solo movie. I mean, look at all the bullshit that comes up on Hulu. I mean, we can get away with a Hercules movie, I think.
True. But yeah, I agree.
Not Hulu, Tubi.
Tubi, yeah.
Tubi, that's what I meant.
I agree. I think they should test it first.
Yeah.
I mean, you're wearing the Black Panther hat. The first time we saw him on screen was in Civil War.
Right.
And everybody loved. Well, maybe not everybody, but it's a small pocket. But I mean, it was well received. Russo brothers did a great job weaving him into that story. We got to see Chadwick Boseman, and after that, people wanted a Black Panther film, and we got one. And I mean, did over $1 billion. It was 1.3 at the box office. It was a successful film.
Well, it was more than successful. It's so successful. Now they're fucking trying to erase our history and shit. But anyway, that's other stuff.
Yes. Yeah. Ryan Gosling is going to play Black Panther in the MCU.
There you go.
So yeah, Thor 5. I mean, I would love to see another Thor movie.
Yeah.
I think the Thor movies were a lot better than I expected them to be.
Absolutely.
Because the way you were talking about Thor, I was kind of on that side, like, bro, Thor gives a shit about Thor, dude.
Right.
But they did a good job of portraying that character in the MCU. And he had a great arc, too, up until Love and Thunder.
Right. I mean, they fell into that, comedy trap.
Yeah.
And just try to make it too much of what it is.
Absolutely.
Thor is like a Norse playboy.
Yeah.
Right? He can do that kind of thing, but it seems like instead of showing the Tony Stark in him, they tried to show the Deadpool in him.
Yeah.
And that's not that character.
Yep. No, not at all. I actually really liked him in the first Thor movie.
Yes.
Like I think the downfall of that movie was the villain, the Destroyer, was kind of emotionless. It was just like this big giant robot fighting thing. But the story of Thor coming to Earth, can't, lift his hammer. He's not worthy anymore. He's had this issue with Odin because he was too cocky and arrogant. I thought it was one of the better MCU movies.
Absolutely, because that's who he is.
Right.
I mean, then he had to learn his lesson, so on and so forth.
Yep.
So, but no, they tried to make him too funny, and then ultimately ended up in this atrocity that's a fucking Thor split. And now we gotta reinvent.
But you have never recovered from that Thor split, man. So I'm hoping this happens for you, Adrian.
Yes.
I'm selfishly.
So do I. I need to get rid of this nightmare that I'm having every night.
Yep. Because every night you wake up and not the Thor split.
Maybe not every night.
Not the Thor split. that is definitely things of what nightmares are made of.
Yes.
So, all right. Next up, we have talked about DC a little bit here because, but I mean, one of the things you said, like they don't do anything right now. Now, I know they're in this rebuilding process, right? Sure. Like, we'll be honest. And I'm a DC fan. Like, I'm a Batman fan who is under the DC umbrella, unfortunately. Right, Imagine if they traded and gave him the Marvel.
Dude, I'm telling you, the only way they're going to be successful move forward is they become a division of Marvel.
There you go. Yep, like a little brother DC.
No, I joke about that, but I wouldn't want that to happen.
No,
just like I wouldn't have wanted Marvel to be under Disney. I think Marvel should have kind of weathered the storm, and became their own studio, and piloted their own aircraft. Per se, but.
So DC, they are working on movies though.
Yeah.
So they're working on a Teen Titans live action movie.
Okay.
And the Batman the Brave and the Bold. Also the Batman 2. There's a little update on that. James Gunn said that Matt Reeves is plugging away at the script and he's going to have something soon to look at. And then a lot of these noise online was just bullshit. So we'll see what happens. But one of the questions that a lot of people have for this Teen Titans movie is, who is going to be Robin, or which Robin will be in this movie?
What they're really asking is, do they want the guy that played Robin in the series? Because just like we wanted the guy that played the Flash in the CW, they wanted him to play the Flash in it, but we got fucking Ezra Miller, right? So I think that's what they're really asking.
Yeah,
because in their mind, this kid, personified, the Robin going into Nightwing.
Yeah, he was great. And a lot of the casting in that show in general was really good.
Yes.
But the main question is, which version of Robin? Is it going to be Dick Grayson? Will it be Jason Todd? Will it be Tim Drake? Would it be Damian Wayne? Who is your favorite Robin? Like, you're reading the Batman comic, and who in your mind is the ideal Robin for that story?
When I think of Robin, I think Dick Grayson.
Yeah.
Now, what's his face? Damian is obviously a natural. I don't even see Damian as a Robin. I see him as a successor to Batman.
As just Damian.
It's just Damian.
True.
Right? But when I think of Robin, I think Dick Grayson.
Okay. Yeah, I think I would say the same. My mind goes there first. Mm-hmm. Favorite though, my favorite is Damian.
Absolutely.
Like, I know if Damian's in the comic, in the animation as Robin, we're gonna have some fun.
Right.
He's an ass.
Yep.
And I love his fearlessness, even like towards his own dad too.
Right.
But he's a badass and he can back it up.
Mm-hmm.
So Damian would be my favorite. But my mind would go like, if you're asking me, DC, who should be Robin in Teen Titans, Dick Grayson.
Yeah.
Like we haven't had a real Robin Dick Grayson on screen ever. Mm-hmm. There was what was it, Chris O'Donnell or whatever in the
right.
Like, he was horrible, right? I mean, dude was like 35 years old playing a 13-year-old for some reason,
right?
But I would love to see that on screen first before we start getting into this Jason Todd, Tim Drake. I don't want to see Tim Drake. I'm not a big Tim Drake fan.
Nor am I.
Like, there's really nothing to the character. Yeah. Jason Todd's cool because that means eventually you're going to get, Death of the Family under the Red Hood story. Mm-hmm. So my vote would be either Dick Grayson or Jason Todd.
Right. And Tim Drake, he basically just became just a sad story.
Yeah.
Because if you've ever watched Batman Beyond, mm-hmm. So the guy that played him in the future, when Bruce Wayne was like older, Tim Drake was just like a shell of a man, walk around, Bruce Wayne, he didn't screw me, so I'm sad now. So I just,
all right, that's the balls in the lettuce right there. But what they're saying, here's the scoop, Adrian. I got the scoop. So we don't know which movie's coming first right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Depending on which movie comes first, that's going to determine which Robin shows up in Teen Titans, is the rumor, is the scoop. Mm-hmm. If Teen Titans comes first, then Tim Drake is likely to be the Robin in that film, supposedly.
Okay.
Now, these are all rumors, so don't say that's not what happened. I'm just saying this is the scoop right now. Mm-hmm. But if you're listening, we know you are. We know they're listening, Adrian. Mm-hmm. Dick Grayson, put him in the Teen Titans movie. I don't give a fuck what movie comes first, last. Right. Do that.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Adrian, the Fantastic Four. We talked a lot. We had a fantastic episode last week. Yep. We talked all about Fantastic Four. Your hidden gem, Reed, right? Yep. My comic moments was all based on the bridge. So, I know the message in the comics is usually the Fantastic Four doesn't have a leader, right? You've never heard that.
No.
Maybe that's more of a newer Fantastic, but that's kind of the consensus out there.
Wait a minute, you talking about like a leader of the group, or a leader like the big-headed leader?
No, leader of the group.
Oh, okay.
Like they're all kind of equal.
That's incorrect.
Who's the leader?
Reed.
Okay. All the time.
All the time.
You've never,
except in his absence.
Okay.
Then Sue takes over.
Sue.
And then is Ben, and then Johnny's never the leader.
Okay. I've always looked at Reed as the leader.
Right.
And I think in some of the newer comics, it's kind of like it's not as much because he's gone a lot too. So it's hard to be a leader when you're in the fucking negative zone. You're in the
then
bridge.
It rolls down to Sue.
Yeah. But Sue is known as like she's that second leader.
Yep.
And there's been times where she was the main leader in the comics.
Absolutely.
There's a rumor that in the movie, Sue may be kind of framed as the leader of the Fantastic Four.
Of course.
Yeah. Why do you say of course?
Dude, we don't need to go down that road. Yeah, we don't need to go down that road. It's bullshit. Which is one of the reasons why one of the fucking 50 times that she left him.
Right.
Right? You don't treat me as an equal. Okay.
But you believe that, or do you believe that she has what it takes to be that character?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
In the absence of Reed.
Right.
You can't have two chefs. I don't care, dude. You can't have two chefs in the kitchen.
Yeah.
It's not man, woman. You just can't have, if you have two minds, you're going to have two different opinions.
Right.
It's as simple as that. And they both can't have a voice at the same time.
Right. Do you think any of this is, like you bring up often the fact that early in comics, women were secretaries.
Pretty much.
Right.
And by secretary, I don't mean they were literal secretaries. They were treated as they were back in those days.
Right.
Kind of undervalued.
Correct.
Definitely of no equal kind of status.
Right. Like early comics, there's no way Sue's going to be the leader of the Fantastic Four.
No.
There even Vanessa Kirby, who plays Sue in this, she had in some interviews she was talking about laughing with Pedro Pascal when they were reading some comics from the 60s, and Sue, Reed was trying to stop Sue from complaining, so he offered to buy her a dress. So kind of like goes right to, that whole, they're treated as their stereotypical women back then.
Yeah, I'm not guessing. Never mind.
Okay. But what she says is she wants to modernize the character. Not so much, didn't want to make her a bad boss bitch, she said, but more of a genuine feminine soulfulness, whatever that means.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, outside of all this nonsense they're talking, having Sue as the leader, it don't bother me.
It doesn't bother me either.
Yeah.
When Reed's gone. But also, Edward Norton wanted to modernize the Hulk too.
True.
Where is he?
Yeah, he is. He is yet to be found, actually. But so anyways, she may be leader. We'll see. We'll find out what happens. But the bigger thing I want to talk about here was last week we said on Agree to Disagree that Sue would solo the Fantastic Four. Right? So one of my friends on TikTok, Adrian, he said that there's no way that Sue could defeat Johnny Storm.
Not only could she defeat the Fantastic Four, she could do it all at the same time.
Damn. Okay.
Johnny in the bubble, his flame goes out, he suffocates. Thing, the same thing.
Yep.
Right? Thing's so strong. Well, he needs oxygen to breathe, number one. As a matter of fact, she can just put all of them in one bubble and evacuate oxygen. That will eliminate all of them for all their power.
They're all
That's
unconscious.
the simplest way to do it.
Yeah.
But if she wants to attack them differently, right? She can eject Thing into space, put douse Johnny's flame by putting him in the bubble, and drop a minuscule bubble inside of Reed's system and expand it beyond his 1,500 feet, right? Basically stretch him to the size of a planet, and he's gone. So.
And, it's kind of like how Batman could defeat the whole Justice League.
Right.
He's on the team. He knows all their weaknesses.
Right. Matter of fact, not only does he know all their weaknesses, there's a protocol to attack all, which somebody stole and used it against them.
Sue knows, Johnny's her brother, Reed's her husband, Ben's literally like their best friend for life.
Right.
She knows all their weaknesses too.
Yep.
And to your point, she'd take them out like this, dude. Yep. We don't have to do a versus. The versus is Sue would fuck all y'all up.
All right.
Yes, people say crazy stuff on TikTok, dude. They need to get banned from that. Yeah, they get suspended. You know how we used to get suspended in school? I don't know about you, but he gets suspended, detention, things of that nature.
Everybody has an opinion.
Okay.
And an asshole.
True. You know what? I'm going to vote for suspending them. I offer to be the principal of TikTok. Okay. Just for the comic fans. And I decide the punishment. You're suspended for 3 hours. Oh, you're really stupid. You're suspended for 4 fucking days. You should think about what you did. So. Anyways, moving on, Adrian. Another thing about the Fantastic Four and Superman, they both broke records during pre-sale this past week. So Fantastic Four tickets went on sale first. Superman went on sale about a week later. But according to the box office analyst, Luis Fernando here says that Superman's first 24 hours were 1.1 times ahead of Fantastic Four in that same time frame, which I'm not surprised by. Are you?
I think this bullshit.
You do?
Yeah. You can't have Superman not exceeding the Fantastic Four.
Okay.
The greatest alien in the universe has to outsell the Fantastic Four. I call bullshit.
Okay, so you think they're just straight up bullshit?
Yeah. I'm not saying that they didn't sell out or they didn't do this more or whatever, but
because of the amount, 1.1, you think that's a lot?
It's not even the amount. They came up with the amount just to supersede the Fantastic Four.
Do you think Superman's more popular than the Fantastic Four, though?
Yeah. I do.
So none of this surprise when people celebrating DC's back now. Superman should have more interest in the Fantastic Four.
They should,
right? Just like when I say that Batman vs. Superman was a failure because it didn't do $1 billion, you had Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman all in the same movie.
Right.
And you couldn't do $1 billion?
Right. And then you added the Flash and Aquaman, and you still shit yourself.
Absolutely. So I think that was as much as whatever it was, 800 million, 700 million could be a failure. It was a failure because it didn't do that with that character.
Right.
Now this, they've been out of the movies for a while. Do I think Superman will do $1 billion? Probably not. But I think it will be one of the biggest movies of the year.
Yeah.
But I'm still more excited about Fantastic Four.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't get the Superman glaze.
I don't get why Godzilla's in the movie.
So really, Godzilla is this Godzilla W? I mean, it could be.
I don't know.
It's a crossover, dude.
Exactly.
Yeah, Superman and Godzilla next summer.
Godzilla-esque creature that was in the movie, in the trailer.
Who would win that though? Superman, Godzilla.
Ooh, I'm thinking Godzilla. Dude.
Think so?
No.
Superman would
just fly down his throat.
Right.
And give him diarrhea or some shit.
Who do you guys think would win? Superman, Godzilla? I'm going Superman. As much as it pains me to admit that Superman's good at anything.
Right. Also, I mean, it takes Godzilla too long to come up with that his fins have to pop out in order for him to get all charged up.
Right.
And Superman could have
he's got that
dumped him by
laser eye beams, dude. That
the speed, the strength. He take him out rather.
Superman would wreck Godzilla, dude. It'd be so quick. It'd be in a post-credit scene, dude. We don't have to do a whole movie. It'd just be after the Superman. After the Superman movie, have him solo Godzilla in a few seconds.
There you go.
How does Godzilla stand up in the ocean like that, though? Like, you ever see like his knees are at the top of the ocean when he's walking? Is he on stilts or something?
Sand dune.
Okay, that's what it is. Got it. Okay.
Him and the Thing pulling the Titanic.
Right. Like, why is the water waist deep on Thing, but the Titanic is behind them?
Do you understand that in order for a boat that big to be on the water, at least 30 feet of it is underneath the water?
Yes.
I mean, they got this giant sonar dome right in the front, dude. Come on.
I understand that. Does James Gunn understand that?
I don't know.
It seems that he doesn't. I mean, we just saw a quick, so maybe we're misjudging. Maybe,
you know what it was, though?
He's on a jet ski.
No, he's walking on top of a force field that Sue has put under him, underwater.
Dude, if that is it, if that's really what's going on, I quit. I'm done. We're going to talk about something else here. I can't. We're actually going to start making movies if that's what happened.
Exactly.
Shit. All right. But moving on. More James Gunn, more Superman news. So one of the biggest differences about this Superman movie and every other MCU movie is when the MCU started, there weren't superheroes everywhere in their universe, right? Like in the Iron Man movie, there weren't like, X-Men running around, mutants. It was like piece by piece built, and these superpowered people were new to society. Hence why Civil War, they did the Registration Act. It was all like first time dealing with this.
Yeah.
In the Superman movie, I mean, in the trailers we've seen, like you said, there's Godzilla in there. There's Green Lantern. There's all kinds of superpowered people.
Yep. Hawk Girl. The black guy with the T in his face.
Right. Oh yeah, whoever he is. Terrific. I don't know, something.
Mr. Terrific, I think.
There you go. I mean, me and you are in there. Like everyone's in there, dude.
Yeah.
So the question is, how long has meta humans, that's what they call them in DC, right, been around in this universe? Because that's completely different. This is a lived-in universe already.
Right.
Superman's already been around for a while. So James Gunn talked about this in an interview recently, and he says that metahumans have been in existence for 300 years in the DCU. So basically all this shit's normal. Seeing Godzilla walk down the street, seeing some... Shark Man fucking hanging out at Chili's or whatever. Like, it's normal.
Wait a minute. Does Chili's sell chili?
They may. It's probably on like a secret menu. I don't know.
And it's funny. It's like, I've never even thought to ask or to look for it on a menu.
Pretty sure they do. No, they definitely do. I've had it before.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not memorable, obviously. But yeah, dude, Chili's. We actually tried to go to Chili's last night because it was like, late and me and a couple of kids, and we get there, it's a 25-minute wait. It's like, fucking
25-minute wait in Chili's?
For Chili's. When you look around, there's empty tables. I'm like, okay, I'm not. Because then you're going to wait for 25 minutes, then you're going to wait for 10 minutes for the server to come over, then you're going to wait for 37 minutes for your food. I'm like, I'm not going to be here till 11 o'clock at night.
Oh, you know what it was? All the graduation.
It's exactly what it was.
Right.
people were coming in there decked out, bro.
Yeah.
For some
but
Chili's.
The thing about it is that we went to, what is it? What's the restaurant across from, not Longhorn, but the Roadhouse.
Okay, Texas Roadhouse.
So, it's always packed anyway. But the thing about that is that you have to, before they seat you, the entire party has to be there, and you can't make reservations, right? Well, Chili's apparently, if they had empty seats, they were taking reservations, which is, messed up for them, right? Because there's just a lot of lost money that they did, right?
Absolutely do. So needless to say, we didn't go there. We got some sushi instead. So it's a much better call. I didn't have to eat Chili's. And so anyways, metahumans be in existence for 300 years. When I hear this, I'm intrigued more about this because that is a complete different take on at least live action superheroes, right? We've not seen that in the MCU or Marvel. It's always been like the first, even with the X-Men, when they did that series, it was like the first time we're seeing mutants. Right. With Spider-Man, he was like, the first super-powered person, and then created villains like Green Goblin and stuff like that. But I think this is pretty cool. How do you feel about that? 300 years, metahumans already existed in the DCU.
Then where was everybody else when all this other stuff was happening to this single individual? I mean, obviously they couldn't put everybody in every superhero or villain into the movie when we were discovering Iron Man or discovering Thor, right, or the X-Men or so on and so forth. But when the aliens attacked New York, what was the Fantastic Four? Things like that. Right. It's not Marvel, it's DC. I understand. Yeah. But the idea is that, where were all of these other people if they've been around for 300 years? Right. And then why all of a sudden do you have, like in the case in Marvel, a registration actor they've been around for so long? Well,
Marvel, they haven't. Marvel, they haven't been around. I'm saying in the DCU with the Superman, they're going to have these characters, these meta people have already been around.
Okay, so even with Superman, he's basically had a solo career, right? Because the way they shoot it, he's been the only person on the planet forever. Right. So where's all these other people?
Well, this is a whole new story. So in this universe.
Oh, you're saying in James Gunn's universe.
In James Gunn universe.
And this make-up Superman, meta-humans have been around for 300. I got you. I'm picking up what you're putting down now.
But so, all right, hey guys, cut that out. We don't even want to be confused. So how do you feel about that? That's it. Like, but the way you're talking about it, it just shows how different it is from everything we've seen. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about this different approach?
I think it's cool.
Yeah. It's refreshing.
Yeah. He'd be lonely.
But that is something that a lot of people have said about those movies. Like, dude, they weren't around for 300 years, but you got all this shit going on in New York. Well, where's Spider-Man? Why didn't he pop in? Where's Doctor Strange? Where's Iron Man? When all these big events. But so we'll see if they handle that differently there. But I think it is cool because you don't have that element of you got to be in secrecy. In the comics, they're not in secrecy. They're fucking out walking down the street in their suits and stuff, So I'm for it. I like it. James Gunn also do we have a lot of DC? DC's back, Adrian. Maybe not. Not yet.
We shall see.
We shall see. The Wonder Woman movies. Have you seen all of them?
Yes, even 1984. Okay. Which I thought was the worst of them.
Yeah, I heard that one was pretty bad.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, as Diana Prince?
I thought that since they put her in there, she did a good job. Okay. However, she is not Diana Prince or Wonder Woman. Right. Well, I'll take that back. In presence, she is definitely both. Okay. And even her look is... My whole issue with Gal Gadot, she's too skinny. Okay. We need a warrior. Right? Which she doesn't appear to be. Okay. But that was literally my only issue. Yeah. When she's Diana Prince, she's elegant. Mm-hmm. She's beautiful. She has that look. When she's Wonder Woman, she has that look. But she's just size. It's just size.
Because even like her face and stuff, it looks pretty comic accurate, Yep.
Diana Prince is just like Superman. Dark hair, light blue eyes. Right. That's it.
Yep. I agree. I don't think it was off. I do think the presence-wise, she nailed it. Yep. But yeah, the size, it would have, when I think Wonder Woman, I think someone with a little more mass. Yeah. In the DCU, in James Gunn's universe, he has confirmed that they are working on the Wonder Woman movie, and the rumor is Gal Gadot will not be returning as Diana, which I think that's not because she did a bad job, but I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
If we're gonna recast Superman, like if we're gonna do a whole new universe, then fucking recast everybody.
Exactly.
So I like that, the fact that they're moving on from that, and I like that they're gonna have Wonder Woman in this universe.
Right. Just pick the right one.
Yes. Yep. Do everyone?
I shouldn't be come back blonde with brown eyes or some dumb shit.
Yep, probably Wonder Woman's now a dude. You know.
No, Hercules is gonna come back as Wonder Woman.
Yes. Yeah. There you go. Oh yeah, we're just intertwining all the lore there, you know. Hugh Jackman posted a video doing some deadlifts. Now everyone's swearing he's going to be in Avengers Doomsday. He's like, I don't know if he's just fucking with people. It was like one video had no like text or nothing. Right. And he's just like about to do some deadlifts and everyone's like, he's confirmed he's in Doomsday. I don't know. But I mean, do you think Wolverine's a character to easily weave into a story like that with Dr. Doom, Avengers?
Absolutely. Yeah. Not only Wolverine, but Wolverine at any age.
True.
And then Hugh Jackman, he can play, I mean, if they do the storyline right, he can play a younger Wolverine or an older Wolverine.
Sure.
So,
you know, the only thing about Hugh Jackman, he's getting a little older, right? So to put on that amount of mass is not as easy. But dude,
well, that's what you get paid for.
It's what you get paid for. But also nowadays with these super suits, dude, they're padded. They're like, it ain't the end of the world for me if Wolverine plays them, at least while the MCU, while this phase kind of wraps up. And if they got some padded Wolverine suit or something, who cares?
Right.
Who gives
I mean,
a
look
shit?
at Sentinel.
Right.
I mean, he wasn't all that. He wasn't, Henry Cavill.
Right.
But, I mean, he pulled it off.
Yeah.
And that suit, that whole suit looked better than I thought it would.
Oh, Sentry.
Yeah, Sentry.
Yep. Yeah, same there. Obviously, that dude ain't that jacked. Like, we don't need to have a shirtless Logan scene every movie. Like, we'll be okay, dude.
Right.
You know, I'm good if we do. If we don't, I'm not. You know.
Yeah, we don't need to see you turn into Harrison Ford.
Definitely. And I think one of the things about the comics, especially like the I say newer, but dude, we're talking like comics from like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But a lot of it, like Civil War and a lot of stuff that happened after that, Wolverine was a member of the Avengers for a long time.
Sure.
I mean, he's always known as the X-Men guy, but dude, he's been with Alpha Flight.
Yep.
He's been on his own. He's been Department H. But he's been an Avenger for a long time as well.
Been in a couple World Wars, maybe.
Couple, dude.
Yo, speaking of bringing back stuff, let's get Alpha Flight going. I want to hear some news and rumors about Alpha Flight. Yep. Come on, y'all.
Seriously, dude. All right, next piece of news. We wrapped up Daredevil Born Again about a month ago now, something like that. I don't know, month, week, couple days. It was recent. And at the end of that, he talked about needing some help. I forget his exact words, but he needs a team, right?
Right.
We've heard some rumors.
Well, I think it was more he was convinced that he needed some help.
Oh, true. Yeah, because he's trying to do it on his own the whole time. Stubborn ass. And I'm a big fan of Jessica Jones.
Yep.
Right. In the comics and the show, they did a great job.
Yep.
At least the first season. I haven't seen the other two yet. But and we've heard that she's rumored to be returning. But Adrian, if you go to our new shot here, check this out, dude. Jessica Jones.
Nice.
On set of Daredevil Born Again Season 2. So we got her. You got your boy Charlie Cox up in there. There you go. Now, I don't know how to explain this. Okay. But he looks blind.
Yes, he does.
Right, like
he does.
There's something with the eyes. There you go. Like even there, it's like she has glasses on and he looks blind. But anyway, so yeah, she's back on set, back in the traditional gears. Still looking the part. But I'm excited to see this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean that. And who knows who else from the Defenders is going to be back? I think you said this a few weeks back. Just bring them all back. Who gives a shit?
Yep.
And then that's going to be something that we saw in Daredevil Born Again. I really enjoyed the season. I think you did too. Like it was, and I think it was right up there with the original Daredevil. I don't think it was.
It took a little longer to get there. Yeah. But toward the end, it was.
But end result, would you say like it wasn't vastly like, hey, Daredevil Netflix was this good and this one was just okay.
Right.
I thought it was pretty close.
I think it was shitty that they, took out Foggy and then they did that shitty job of bringing what's her face, Karen back.
Yep.
So,
but I enjoyed it. I want to see more, and I am excited to see them bring these characters from these other Netflix shows into season 2 especially with this storyline that's going on.
Right. But just do me a favor, since everybody's stealing ideas from us anyway. Take Iron Fist and send him through some Batman coaching, some training. Make that movie make his part a little better so that it makes sense for him to be part of a team. Because right now, I don't think I want to see him.
You don't like his portrayal?
Nah.
No. I still haven't seen, because everyone that I've talked to has actually told me not to watch it. Right. So I'm just taking that advice, you know. So anyway, she's back. Thunderbolts. We talked about Thunderbolts a little bit earlier. Unfortunately, it is not even going to break even at the box office.
Wow.
Which is, it's
okay.
It's okay. The reason I say it's unfortunate is because the movie is a lot better than the box office results, in my opinion.
Right.
It was a great movie. I really enjoyed it.
Yep.
So y'all are missing out, by the way.
And it was not Suicide Squad.
Correct. Thankfully.
So it's okay, because you introduce a whole new concept, a whole new team, right? So this is a, introduction.
Right.
And I'm cool with that.
Yeah. And the other thing too is you can't, you can do whatever the fuck you want, but you shouldn't always expect the same results.
Right.
Like the MCU was a brand new thing when it launched.
Right.
It did something that had never been done before. And now with this side, I'm not, you're making excuses. No, I'm just being freaking reasonable. Like this thing's been around for almost 20 years. Like the fact that they're still having this level of success, it's not a bad thing. Is every film going to do $1 billion? No. Are they going to have the same results they did early on? I don't think so.
Nah. You're not going to have a E.T. or Star Wars or, Wall-E kind of reaction every time a movie comes out.
Yeah.
You're going to have some I don't even want to say it. Eternals, some Madam Web.
Yes.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
But the movie was good.
Right.
Whereas Madam Web was not.
Correct.
So
here's another piece that we don't talk about a lot is early on when these movies came out, the only place to see them for a long time was in the movie theater.
Correct.
Or, you get a bootleg movie if you want. But for the most part, it was movie theater. You waited, like a year for them to come out. And then maybe with the MCU was a little bit, that was kind of like when I was a kid, but 6 months?
Yep.
6-8 months. And they didn't have a Disney Plus or a streaming for these to go to.
Right.
There's a lot of people that wait till they drop on streaming to watch them that maybe in the past would have went to the theater because they're like,
correct.
Dude, nowadays they're on streaming in like 90 days.
Right. 90 days. A couple of weeks,
depending on what it is. Yeah, right. They're good 90 days. Even that's nothing compared to what it used to be.
Right.
So, and there's also money to be made on Disney Plus. So, I guess the point is, I don't think it's all about the box office anymore.
Right.
It's kind of like cable ratings. Remember back in the day, the Nielsen ratings were that was everything.
Yep.
And then there were shows that, like wrestling's a good example. WWE. Well, their cable ratings suck, dude. People aren't watching it on fucking cable anymore.
Right.
Matter of fact, they're watching more of it on YouTube than any before, like pieces of stuff, and then streaming and whatever. So I don't think the box office is the end all be all. They're gonna make up some money on Disney Plus, but numbers wise, the Multiversal Saga has not held up box office with the Infinity Saga. So 22 movies make up the Infinity Saga. Okay, of those 22 movies, 19 of them grossed over $500 million, over 500 million.
Wow.
Pretty fucking good run.
Right.
There's been 13 Multiversal Saga movies, and only 6 of those have crossed that 500 million. So yeah, it's definitely not living up to, which, I mean, dude, hey, either way, I've said this before about the MCU. It ain't perfect. It ain't, but think about that. We have 35 live action Marvel comic book movies. And at the end of the day, we talk a lot of shit, but we're comic fans.
Right.
It's pretty cool to have that amount of movies. Yeah, you're going to have some Thor Love and Thunders in there.
Yeah.
For every Black Panther, for every Civil War, for every whatever. But they're more of those movies are good than bad.
Right, right. And I also think that theaters themselves can do things to attract people. I love watching movies in the theater.
Yeah.
It's convenient to watch it, in my house.
Right.
But I remember one time I was in Virginia, and just randomly, dude, we're sitting there waiting for whatever movie that was going to come out. But before, you know how they play like today they play all these trailers and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, back then they played the whole Keith Sweat album. Before the movie. They just audio.
Okay.
Dude, it was rocking. It was rocking in that joint.
Okay.
It was rocking in it. So what am I saying? Just like, Walmart, I'm giving you ideas, put like arrows that go, because you do it anyway. That's how you design your stores. You design your store so people walk all up and down the aisle. Once you put some visuals in there to make them feel like they get some exercise.
Right.
They're probably not, but anyway.
True.
As they stealing your fucking electric scooters to go around the store. But in a movie theater, once you have like some, what do you call them? The box, the skylight fucking boots where you can sit at top, right? And watch the movie theater.
Oh, Skybox.
Skybox, right? Put some stripper poles in it, right? There's something that you can do to entice people to come to the theater. Also, you know what? You got to lower them prices at the concession stand. Dude.
Yo.
I mean, I can't feel like I got to give up a spleen every time I go to the box office. I mean, to the movie theaters.
No, that's a good point too. How many people avoid it because of that? Knowing like, okay, movie tickets, whatever, $13, but I know it's $350 for 2 large popcorns and some candy.
Exactly.
Yeah, no.
So make it. Also, how about doing some movie exclusive? I mean, some theater exclusive things, like right. So the theater is big anyway. How about have like only in theaters, you're going to see this interview between Chris Hemsworth and fucking, Robert Downey Jr.
Right.
Make it live. So on the first night or whatever, have that interview telecast around the world or wherever the thing is playing, right before the movie, right? But that you won't see that in the streaming. I mean, there's stuff you can do. I'm not the only, we're not the only genius level intellects on the planet.
No,
dude.
there's a few others. There's a few.
There's a couple.
I mean, or like you say, you could just play Keith Sweat. Nobody. You just do that, dude. Just play that shit up there.
Dude, it was rocking.
That's hysterical.
That joint.
Do you remember what movie it was?
No, I don't. It
was what, 90s probably? I mean,
it was definitely 90s.
Yeah, that's hysterical. I don't know what I would do if I walked in there playing like, I mean, nowadays would it be Justin Bieber or something? I'd probably walk out, honestly.
Yeah, exactly.
The Weeknd. Here's what you could do. You really want to bring people into theaters, okay? We will show up, okay? You and I will watch the movie. Then we'll do a podcast right from AMC, okay? And everybody would gather around to see us. Right?
I like that.
Give us free popcorn.
Yep.
Give us a drink. I take a Dr. Pepper. They don't sponsor, dude, but I don't drink. This is the first time you see me drink a soda since we met, probably.
Yeah. Actually.
Yeah. But hey, it was in there.
Wild style. Drink one every other day.
yeah. I've definitely seen you. You're not drinking Dr. Pepper, though.
No.
You know what Dr. Pepper and Axel Asher have in common?
I do not.
They're both, I want to say owned, but they both can be promoted and marketed and created by two different companies. There's Dr. Pepper, the Coke product, and there's Dr. Pepper, the Pepsi product.
Really?
Yes. It's why most fast food places have Dr. Pepper and some have Coke and Pepsi. So,
wow.
Look at that. You learn, it's an educational program right here. Wow. This is like reading Rainbow when I was a kid almost. Not as much, though.
So Dr. Pepper is like the Chinese of Coke products?
Yeah.
Now, that sounds foul, but you'll understand once we get into sinners.
Yeah. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. If you're intrigued, like this video. I could never be that type of like, hey guys, didn't even see you standing there. Hit the little whistle button. Anyways, subscribe, all right, if you haven't already. Shit. All right, moving on. Avengers Doomsday. There's a rumor that I think you might like, Adrian. Well, first of all, you're a Nick Cage fan?
No, not really.
Okay.
I mean, I like him in some stuff.
Okay.
Like this movie it's a Christmas movie, The Family Man.
Yep.
I liked him I like him in some things, not everything. I'm not gonna run to the theaters to watch
because it's just him. All right. Did you like him in Ghost Rider?
Yeah, I did.
Now, forget about Nick Cage. I just want to throw that out there. How do you feel about Ghost Rider as a character? Because you did Ghost Rider as a hidden gem.
Yes.
Did you do Ghost Rider in general or a certain version? I can't remember.
Well, I did Ghost Rider, but there's several Ghost Riders going back.
You talked about
thousands of years.
Yeah.
So and also there are entities, Mephisto, that can bestow the Ghost Rider upon a person. Yes.
So Ghost Rider was we should actually at some point revisit. Sometimes we revisit old movies like we did the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
We should do a rewatch of Ghost Rider and see how we feel about that shit today.
Yeah.
Because I remember them being okay, like at least entertaining.
Right.
But I haven't seen them since they came out.
Yeah. I still the most iconic moment for me was the Twinkie scene. When the guy he got possessed by this demon.
Yeah.
And anything he touched disintegrated, right?
Yeah.
He touched people, they would disintegrate, whatever. So he steals this pickup truck or whatever. He's going on the road, and the guy for whatever reason got a bunch of food on the thing. So he tries to touch one thing and it disintegrates. He picks up a Twinkie and it holds.
Of course,
he starts laughing and eats it.
That's funny. That and roaches.
Yep.
Go to your boy Wall-E, dude. You talking about giving people ideas. You know how they have those stupid robots in the store?
Yeah.
Like the grocery stores have them. They walk around like they just skate by. They got cameras and shit on them. If there's a spill.
The cleaning ones?
Yeah. They're like, watch out, don't walk here. All right, get rid of that one. Create a life-size Wall-E unit. Put those in the stores. I'll be at every store. I'll be walking, talking to Wall-E and shit. You know, I'm just
follow him down the Walmart.
Walmart, Wall-E
things.
Dude, come on. Shit, we're on it today. Another week, another banger, as they say. That's gonna be a t-shirt. AWAB is gonna be a t-shirt.
There we go.
Yep. So anyways, Ghost Rider. There's a rumor that Doomsday is gonna introduce the MCU to Ghost Rider. How do you feel about that?
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're introducing everyone else.
Exactly.
Why the fuck not?
Yeah.
Now, the other part of this is Ghost Rider may actually lead the Midnight Suns in a future MCU movie. So Midnight Suns is something, we reported this rumor probably, 6 months ago maybe.
Yeah.
And we haven't heard much about it. There was talk recently that they were going to cancel this movie, but now there's some insider claims that the movie's back on, they're developing this. And the Midnight Suns is almost a supernatural version of the Avengers, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the comics, I mean, Ghost Rider's been a member, Blade, Morbius, Doctor Strange, Werewolf by Night, the Black Knight, Man-Thing. I mean, there's been a ton of it, but it's always those type of characters with or supernatural magic type elements, things of that nature.
Yep.
Blade has been at least who people thought would be leading this team in the MCU.
Yeah.
Now that movie was kind of postponed, put on hold. Who the fuck knows what's going on with it now? And we saw, Wesley Snipes show back up as Blade at 116 years old in Deadpool and Wolverine. But the rumor right now is that Ghost Rider will be introduced, and he is going to be leading the Midnight Suns in the MCU. So, How do you feel about that? How's that sound?
It works for me. I mean, also the character just kind of fits with, the Midnight Suns.
Absolutely.
It just sounds cool.
Yeah.
Right?
Ghost Rider could be a leader, right?
Sure.
Would you want Ghost Rider to be your dad?
No,
probably not. Yo, he give you that penance there, like when you don't do your chores or some shit.
You'd be like, Dad, stop doing
right. I'm so sorry. So anyway, I'm down with it, dude. Bring him in. But we probably could leave Nick Cage out of this one, though. We like Nick, but not that much. Last piece of news. It's a Jurassic Park piece of news, dude. So are you a fan of this franchise, Jurassic Park?
I am. It's just that, it's just there's like kind of running joke about how one of the things that's in Jurassic Park is that the monsters keep getting bigger, more dangerous, and so on and so forth.
Right.
And it's not just in the storyline that's true. Because in order to attract people to watch the Jurassic Park, the dinosaurs have to be bigger, meaner, stranger, all this other kind of stuff. So So it just gets to be like a Thor Split moment, at some point.
Are you saying they're getting a little wacky?
They're getting a little wacky.
Are you saying maybe there's some balls in the lettuce going on there?
There's definitely
a little bit, right? It's hard to say I'm a fan of this franchise because I like a few of the movies.
Yeah.
The first one is still my favorite.
Absolutely.
And my second favorite, honestly, is probably the first one of the newer ones, Jurassic World.
Mm-hmm.
Before they did get bigger, but now these ones are just insanity now.
Right.
It's like that Fast and Furious syndrome.
Yeah.
Right? Like where everything has to outdo the last movie. It's like, no, if you just make a good movie, you don't necessarily have to outdo it. Now this, I was trying to look, I think there's 8 of these, or the 8th movie is coming out soon. We've talked a lot about Fantastic Four and Superman coming out this summer. We've talked briefly about this, but did you even remember that there's a Jurassic Park movie coming out soon?
No. Are they gonna cast Jeff Goldblum as the headmaster now walking around
probably
with a stick? That dude's like in all of them, isn't he?
He is. Dude, I love him though. He's a fun actor, and whenever he's one of those like kind of the opposite of what you said about Nick Cage.
Yeah.
If he's in something, I'm gonna be a little more intrigued.
Sure.
You know, I actually really liked him in Thor as the Grandmaster, right?
Yeah.
It was just hysterical. So this, I believe, is the 8th Jurassic Park film that's coming out. Scarlett Johansson it's kind of a reboot of Jurassic World, is what they're saying. It's called Jurassic World Rebirth. So maybe they realized that those movies are getting a little too off the rails,
right? And
they wanted to reboot it because it's been a successful franchise. But we talked last week about early projections for Superman and Fantastic Four. This movie is also has some pretty good projections. Right now, it's saying it's going to do about 115, projected to do 115 to 135 million in its first 5-day opening. So not bad, dude. July 2nd. Now I'm not excited to see it, but I mean, shit, they keep making movies.
Wow.
Yeah.
I literally, this is the first time I've heard of a Jurassic movie coming out. Literally.
Damn.
So they're doing poorly on I don't know how they're going to project those numbers because they doing a shit job of promoting it.
I think that name has kind of a built-in audience with it. Like you put a Jurassic World movie out, people show up. It's kind of like Godzilla and things like that. Like people just go to see them.
Yeah, but I got to know that it's out there. Though.
Yeah, well, but shit, 100 or some bunch of people are going. Yeah. I'm not going to be one of them.
No.
But I pulled a list of franchises that had more than 8 films in them. Because this will be the 8th Jurassic World movie.
I can wait 2 weeks until it comes up on streaming.
Right? Yes. And here's a few of them. I just want to go through them and kind of we'll do this in kind of overall. Like, was this overall a good franchise or not? Because we're loose rules here. It's like thumbs up, thumbs down, but before thumbs up, thumbs down. Okay. So the Jurassic Park / Jurassic World overall, would you say it's a good franchise?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. Transformers, they got 8 films.
Yeah.
I would say I need to watch I don't know if I need to, but the newer ones, the early ones I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
The first 3. Mission Impossible, it says 8 fucking movies too, dude.
Yeah. I good franchise. From the very beginning.
Are you sitting down?
Why?
I've never seen any of the Mission Impossible movies.
I'm not as shocked based on the fact that you haven't seen a lot of stuff that regular people see.
True.
But that's also not one of those kind of Mission Impossible is not a kind of a globally accepted kind of a movie. It's like anybody would go see it. Like, if you miss like E.T. or something, which I have not seen.
Right.
Or something like that, right?
Okay.
So it's not shocking.
So you give me a pass on that one.
I give you a pass on it.
Rocky series. Now, if you add Creed in there, you got some Rocky, some Creed. I think there's like 6 or 7 Rockies, and then you have 3 Creed movies. So they have 9. I said that was a good franchise.
Yeah.
The Conjuring
Even
universe.
though I've not seen a single Creed movie.
You haven't?
No.
They're good, dude.
Yeah.
At least I haven't seen the 3rd one with Jonathan Majors. I do want to see that. The first 2 were really good.
Yeah.
The Conjuring universe, I give that one a thumbs down. They got
what is that?
That was the horror universe with the couple from the Annabelle doll. I can't think of their fucking names.
That's okay.
But anyways,
you said the Annabelle doll, so I'm good.
You don't mess with that.
No.
I would say no. I think the first couple were good, and they just they were doing too much, dude.
The Annabelle doll and in the water that's over my ankles and I can't see my feet.
Nightmare on Elm Street 9. I would say no, dude. I think they got really bad. I think the first one. Now the first one's one of my favorite horror movies ever.
Absolutely, dude.
Dude, the first one's a classic.
That's the one that got me turning the lights on before I go outside at night to this day.
Dang, you didn't want to fuck with Freddy, bro. No, you were good.
Like all of them.
Resident Evil has 11, dude. I never seen any of those either. No.
I like that franchise.
You did? Okay.
Yeah.
Pink Panther has 11. Remember those movies? Yeah,
I've not once watched one.
Wizarding World, I believe that's the Harry Potter universe. They got 11.
Okay.
I'm not a Harry Potter guy, are you?
Oh, the early, kind of.
Yeah.
And my kids are like deep into it.
Yeah. I would like to give them a watch because I'm sure they're good movies from what everyone says.
But 11?
11 of them, dude. Yeah.
But just Harry Potter, or are we talking about something else?
No, there's some tie-ins. So I think like 7 of them are Harry Potter, and then there's this other like a prequel type story, I believe, but it all takes place in the same universe.
Okay.
And then Star Wars has 11. I definitely Star Wars. I give that a thumbs up. Fast and Furious has 11, bro.
Only 11.
Only 11.
I'm surprised that there's only 11.
Yeah, they got a few more in them.
I thought they was like in Super Bowl numbers.
I give it that a thumbs up. Yeah. Friday the 13th, dude. I'm a big Friday the 13th fan. Halloween, I would give that one a thumbs down. Yeah. Because there's some really bad ones.
Yeah.
X-Men universe, and this is where we get into like some of the cinematic. I give X-Men. It's hard, dude, because I love the X-Men, but no, I think as a whole, I'd give it a thumbs down.
Yeah.
There are a few really good movies in there, but there's some doozies, as they say. Land Before Time has 14 movies.
What?
The little dinosaur.
Yeah.
A lot of those like straight to DVD, VHS movies.
Okay.
So yeah,
some you put on when you're in for the kids in the backseat while you're driving down to Missouri or something.
And then they cry to have you change it because they don't like it. But anyways, they're like, put Wally back on. James Bond has 27 movies.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Why?
Because I've not seen any of them.
Really?
Yes.
Some are definitely better than others. Yeah. There was a couple of actors that, it was like a one-shot deal and they were gone. So, yeah.
When I was a kid, Pierce Brosnan was 007.
And to me, so it's
Daniel Craig is one of the newer ones, right?
I wasn't feeling nobody was feeling Daniel Craig when he first came out because he was blonde, right? And people just didn't get that, right? Because Bond has been, dark haired all this time. So, but I liked it. So he's like the third. Pierce Brosnan and what's the old dude?
Sean
Connery.
Connery.
So Sean Connery 1. Pierce Brosnan 2, and then Daniel Craig.
Okay. Says there's 6 actors that have played him.
Yep.
Sean Connery, this is from 1962 to 1971.
Was Sean Connery wasn't the first one. I thought there was somebody before him.
No, it says he's the first. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there was a TV adaptation of Casino Royale where Barry Nelson played Bond in that, but that technically wasn't a Bond movie.
Okay.
Yeah, so he played him in 6 movies.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. No, From Russia with Love, Goldfinger, Thunderball, You Only Live Twice, and Diamonds Are Forever.
Seen them all.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you remember which one you would have liked the most out of those?
Thunderball and Dr. No.
Okay. Then you had...
and You Only Live Twice.
Okay. George Lazenby. He was a one and done in 1969 on Her Majesty's Secret Service, which was actually in between some of these. So then Sean Connery came back for Diamonds Are Forever.
Yep.
Roger Moore, remember this guy in the 70s and the 80s?
He was cool. He was kind of laid back. He was honorable mention. I put him number 4. Yeah.
7 movies.
Yep.
Live and Let Die, The Man with the Golden Gun, The Spy Who Loved Me, Moonraker, For Your Eyes Only, Octopussy.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Language.
And A View to Kill. Mm-hmm. And that was in 85. So he wrapped up. Timothy Dalton.
That's the one and done.
He did 2.
He did 2, but I think they...
You don't like him?
No, I think he did a number 2. He did number 2.
You did number 2, huh? Yeah, sounds
they
like
gave him 2 movies just to kind of like... It's like... People can't hate him that bad.
Right.
So they got rid of him.
The Living Daylights in 87 and License to Kill in 89.
Yeah.
And then your boy, Pierce Brosnan, dude.
Yep.
1995, GoldenEye.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow Never Dies in 97. The World Is Not Enough in 99. And Die Another Day in 02. So 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
And what'd you say? Did you like Pierce?
Oh, yeah, definitely. He's the one after Sean Connery to me that embodied Bond.
Okay.
And actually, I'll mix up Daniel Craig and what was the other one? Moore.
Yeah.
So I'll put Sean Connery first, Pierce Brosnan, Moore, and then Craig.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So Craig's one of your least favorites.
Yeah, because he was a completely different kind of Bond. Completely different kind of Bond. But you grew to like him.
Yeah, gotcha. He had 5 movies too. So Pierce only got 4.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Craig was in Casino Royale in 06,
mm-hmm.
Quantum of Solace in 08, Skyfall in 12, which has one of my favorite Adele songs, by the way, Skyfall. Right. Spectre in 15, and No Time to Die in 2021. Out of those, what was your favorite?
I don't remember.
You don't remember those?
Nah. But Pierce Brosnan, there was a little controversy around him.
Really?
Because they wanted him for Bond years before.
Really?
But he was playing in his TV show. He was like this detective or something. Not Spencer for Hire. That was some other cat.
Yeah.
But it was this woman that wanted to start a detective agency, but she figured that in order to get respect, she needed a face man. Okay. So she got the Pierce Brosnan guy, character to be the face man of her agency. And so when the Bond role came up, they wanted to pull him, but because he was so popular, the studio wouldn't let him go.
Damn.
So they just kind of like pooch screwed him for a couple of years until, the contract ran out. Then he did the Bond thing.
Got it.
At least that's how I remember.
Yeah.
I mean, you might want to do your own research.
You might want to fact check everything we tell you today.
Literally everything.
Literally everything. Yep. Even if we read a comment, you might want to go check to see if that's really what they said.
Right.
It's my old age, bro. The cataracts, they get to me, Adrian.
There you go.
But that's a massive jump when you think about, Halloween and X-Men universe, 13 movies, and then James Bond with 27.
Right.
Dude, that's crazy. Now it goes all the way back to the 60s, so they've had some time. Then you got the MCU with 33. I think it's actually 35 now. Mm-hmm. And then Godzilla at 38 movies is the reigning champ, dude. Yeah. It's a lot of fucking Godzilla movies, bro.
Remington Steele.
Who's that?
That's the show? The TV show.
Okay, I heard of that. Yeah. I never seen it, but
but so Godzilla, there's this one, it's like Godzilla number 2 or why am I doing the number 2s today?
Yeah, you're all on the number 2s, bro.
So Godzilla.
Dude, there was 15 Godzilla movies before the 80s, bro.
Oh, dude, we used to love watching those.
Really?
Movies. Yeah, that was a whole camp night out kind of a thing. Yeah.
Speaking of Father's Day, my dad, he was a big Godzilla guy.
Yeah.
I never watched the movies, but I used to have the toys as a kid, and I always loved it because they were these giant fucking creatures. I never knew what any of them did, so I would just have them fight and probably had the worst verses ever back then. But
Godzilla -1 was the latest one that I've seen. That was pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was recent?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 23. Okay. Yep. And that's a modern reboot. So there was 15 movies from 1954 to 75, then the 80s and 90s. And I guess there's different eras here, I guess, based off of the production company. So Showa era was from 54 to 75, 15 movies. Then the Heisei era, 84 to 95, 7 films. It's always Godzilla versus somebody, dude. Versus King Ghidorah, Mothra, Mega Godzilla 2, Space Godzilla. Then the Millennium era, this is Godzilla 2000, Godzilla versus Mega Gurus. Those fucking wacky names. And then there was 5, and those were all like the Japanese movies. Then there's 5 American adaptions. You had Godzilla in 98. That was that TriStar Pictures made. It was a reboot. Then this MonsterVerse that they've now created in 2014, Godzilla, 2019, Godzilla King of the Monsters, Godzilla vs. Kong in 21, Godzilla Kong New Empire in 24. And then there's the one you talked about, the Minus, which is like, I guess it's a reboot. So there's 2 modern Japanese reboots, Shin Godzilla in 16 and Godzilla -1 in 23. A lot of fucking Godzilla, dude.
And then you got, Godzilla and Superman.
Yeah, which Superman, that's the post-credit scene because it's so quick. It might even, actually, you want to bring people to the movies? That can be a preview. That can be a commercial before the movie.
There you go.
You could be done in like a minute and a half, right?
Maybe.
Yeah, so, dude, actually, no lie, makes me want to get into some Godzilla here. How do you like
it was fun watching.
Yeah. Did you like these newer ones, the Godzilla vs. Kong and those ones?
Yeah, it definitely lets you know who would win between the two of them because Godzilla was just fucking up King Kong. Dude.
Damn.
Yeah.
So 100.
And then they got together and went to King Kong's land on the Middle Earth and fought some other monsters, while holding hands and smiling at each other and stuff. So.
Now, is this a different Kong than the King Kong movies? Does that tie in, or is this its own separate thing?
What do you mean different?
Because there are actual King Kong movies, right? Yes. There's 2 of them.
Yep.
And then you got Godzilla vs. Kong. Is this Kong in this movie supposed to tie into that, or is
I don't know if it ties in, but I think it's the same
thing.
Kong. I think it's the same Kong.
Okay. I want to check this out, dude. And if y'all know, hey, fact check and let us know in the comments. This is less work we have to do, you know. So, all right. Well, that's a little spin-off today from news and rumors. So we're gonna wrap it up like we always do with a little thumbs up, thumbs down.
Let's do it.
And if you don't wrap it up, you'll be celebrating Father's Day one day like us. You know, there's only one way to get there. Well, no, there's several. That's one of them, most popular. All right, are you ready, Adrian?
Let's do it.
All right. Marvel rumored to be developing Thor 5 without the director of Ragnarok and Love and Thunder, Taika Waititi. I give that a thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Directing it as they should without his ass. So at least, you know, I have a good feeling about this. I'm going to make a prediction. There will be no Thor Split in Thor 5. So I got my fingers crossed for you, dude. All right. DC is working on a Teen Titans movie along with Batman Brave and the Bold. Both will feature Robin. But if Teen Titans comes first, the rumor is it will be Tim Drake. And if that's the case, I give that a massive thumbs down.
Yeah, thumbs down. I don't want to see that cat.
To quote you earlier, that would be a number 2. Sue Storm is rumored to be the leader of the Fantastic Four in Fantastic Four First Steps. I give this a thumbs up. Fuck it.
I'm sure.
Fantastic Four First Steps and Superman both broke records at the box office pre-sales recently. But there's the analysts say Superman's ahead of Fantastic Four 1.5 times. I give this thumbs. I don't give a fuck.
Exactly.
Yeah, I just know that Fantastic Four is going to be better.
Yeah.
James Gunn says metahumans have been in existence for 300 years in his DCU. I give that a thumbs up.
Sure.
A new take, something a little different. James Gunn also confirms Wonder Woman movie is in the works. And Gal Gadot rumored not to be returning as Diana Prince. I give that a thumbs up, actually.
Thumbs up, yeah.
And not because she did a bad job, just because it's a new universe. Let's
absolutely
give up the Snyder. It's done. Restart a Snyderverse. No.
Shut and besides, she stole a Russian submarine, and she's going back to Fast and Furious.
True, yeah. I want to know how she survived going into the propeller of a plane, by the way. But, you know. Whatever. They're just trying to get that title for, you know, most movies. They're going to be up there with Godzilla one day.
Well, the turbulence of the plane as she was coming toward the propeller, the turbulence like dropped her right under it. So she was just able to do a tuck and roll.
Got it.
You know, and since she was in ball form, she was able to maneuver around the tires also as they were coming across.
Right. So she didn't get run over. Yeah. And the impact of the ground didn't do anything because of how fast she was rolling, maybe?
Exactly. See, you understand.
Dude, this is just solving all the world's problems right here. All right. Hugh Jackman posted a video doing some deadlifts. Now everybody swears he's returning in Avengers Doomsday. It's a thumbs down, dude. Shut up. Leave him alone.
Exactly.
Maybe he'll be there.
Maybe he won't.
Maybe he won't. Who cares? Daredevil Born Again Season 2 set photos reveal a look at Krysten Ritter returning as Jessica Jones.
Nice.
It's a thumbs up.
Well, is there going to be a love triangle?
I mean,
I'm just saying, you know, how does Luke Cage and Jessica Jones have a baby when your man Matt is trying to diddle everybody?
Right, because Matt's got Riz, bro. You don't bring your wife around Matt Murdock. Right. I'm just saying, dude, because he lays down with everybody, bro.
Everybody.
I mean, from She-Hulk to fucking anyone.
Yep.
Elektra, everyone in between.
Yep.
Yeah. So you better watch it, Luke Cage, because Matt. Speaking of Father's Day, he might be a fight. You never know. You
know, Magneto got that white hair and that light blue eyes. Matt pull them shades down, throw them dead eyes on you. That's it.
Can someone please explain to me why Charlie Cox looks blind? Like it's something with the eyes.
Yeah.
I forget what movie it was, but I read this article where he was auditioning for a part. But he didn't get it because of this blank stare in his eye. Like if something was off there. I'm like, that's probably exactly why he got the Charlie or the Matt Murdock role.
Yep.
Thunderbolts will fail to break even at the box office, unfortunately. It's a thumbs down, man. It's too bad because it was a good movie.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree.
I mean, like when Eternals or something like that bombs, you're like, good for you. But
it's like I expected that.
Right. Like when Madam Web went from, you know, the movies to streaming in like 3 days, like good for you. That shit sucked. Avengers Doomsday is rumored to be introducing the MCU to Ghost Rider, who also is going to lead the Midnight Suns in a future MCU movie. If that's true, you get 2 thumbs up from me.
Thumbs up.
And then Universal reboot of Jurassic World Rebirth is aiming for or projected to do a 115 to 135 million first week opening. So I give this, I guess, hey, thumbs up to anyone who wants to go see a bunch of dinosaurs again.
Yeah, I'm sure. So Scarlett Johansson's going to be in. So is Chris Pratt going to come back?
I don't think so. I think it's I think
reboot.
Yeah, reboot. So you get one star out, you get another one. And you only got enough for one, dude.
Yeah.
But I saw in a trailer or read something where she like transforms into a dinosaur. She's a shapeshifter now. So it takes place like 5 years in the future, and it's a complete different story. So who knows, dude? They're going a little too far, Adrian.
They're going too far. Man.
So, anyways, that is thumbs up, thumbs down. We appreciate all you guys watching, subscribe, and let us know if you agree with us or not. You know, and if you don't agree, you can just cry about it in the comments. It's okay. It's all right. All right. Moving on. We got a little segment that we've been doing for a few weeks here called Comic Moments. So before we pull it up, I briefly touched on this earlier. We're going to be talking about Hush a little bit. And what I did, because Hush is a 12-issue story.
Yep.
So I went through the first half of it today, for today. So I'm going to just bring you through it quickly and go through some of the moments I like. This is a comic. We did a full deep dive on this. It's been a while ago now. But it's one of my favorite Batman comics. Yeah. When we read it, that was the first time you read it?
Yes.
Yep. And if I remember right, you enjoyed it? Would you agree with this? If you are someone who's never read a comic and you are a fan of Batman, Batman Hush is one of the best first reads for someone to get a full, I guess, scope of who Batman is in the comics.
Well, I can't truthfully answer that because I haven't read as much Batman as you have, so I would have to take your word for it.
Got it.
But it is definitely a excellent source to pick up at any point, whether you're new to Batman or not.
Okay. Hey, edit that out and make him say yes with AI so he can agree. Yes, okay. No, but I do for a lot of reasons. One, it's a detective story, which is something that we've not seen enough of on screen, in my opinion, for Batman. Right? He is the world's greatest detective.
Right. Detective
Comics was named for him, like he was their guy, right?
Except maybe for the Hidden Gem.
Oh,
I'm just saying.
Teaser, dude. Look at that. That's about as good as playing Key Sweat before a movie kind of teaser right there. So, anyways, the Bat family's in here, Catwoman's in here, a bunch of the villains are in here. Like it's, and then the artwork. Yeah. Jim Lee. I love Jim Lee's art. I love his Batman, and that's a lot of the scenes or the pages I chose to pull out really showcase what I like about his art style. And I think Jeff Loeb's a great writer.
Yeah.
He did the Long Halloween, which we also reviewed here, and they did a couple movies based on that. So this comic ran in the mainline Batman continuity. This was Batman 608 through 619, October of 2002 through September of 03. So it was big, successful. They've done some other Hush. So there's Hush 2 going on right now, which we actually have some of those for sale on the website, a couple different variants. And I'm kind of waiting until all of them come out, and then we can do a deep dive on that. But at least the artwork, same writer, same artist. But anyways, Adrian, let's hop into comic review or comic moments. Hey, scratch that out too. All right, go to our super source here. All right, this is cover of episode 1, issue 1. It all begins here. Yeah, Batman, kicking through the streets of Gotham.
Hold on, go back to that.
Yep.
I don't know, dude. Looks like a little Superman jealousy.
Oh,
I mean, you got some the treads on those boots kind of high there. Bruce Wayne need a little height.
Yeah. Oh, so he's trying to be taller?
Yeah.
All right.
Or not.
Probably not. Well, it's funny you mentioned Superman, dude. So if you've not read this comic, stay tuned because we got a little Superman in here. All right, so this starts off like a lot of Batman stories. He's saving someone. He's saving a kid, right? And that's something that you see a lot with Batman and Daredevil. Like, yeah, they're superheroes. Yeah, they're comic books. Yeah, they're for kids. No, a lot of what they're hunting down, sex traffickers. They're hunting down people that are taking kids. They're hunting down rapists. They're not just like trying to stop the guy who's stealing, peanut butter from the store around the corner.
Right.
So this kind of starts off like that. Dude, look at this piece of art here.
That's awesome.
Dude, that is one of my favorite Batman drawings in comics, period. Like how massive he is. Yeah. Like, Jim Lee, I know he's drawn Hulk. I'm pretty sure he's drawn Hulk in the past, but I'd have to look it up. But he looks Hulkish.
Yeah.
which is how, at least how I envision Batman.
Sure.
A dude that is going to beat the brakes off your ass.
Which kind of makes it even more questionable how a Bruce Wayne, because he's not Mr. Fantastic. He's not going to deflate his mass.
Right, yeah.
As Bruce Wayne.
Sure.
So, how does...
Like, why is he so big?
Exactly. Why is this dude so big?
And then he starts off with a fight, Killer Croc. So he saves his kid. Killer Croc shows up. And something different about Killer Croc here. See, he's got a briefcase in his hand.
Yep.
And he's there for money, which is very unlike Killer Croc, right? So early on, Batman realizes there's a little more to this than just Killer Croc, because he don't give a shit about money. He's just trying to eat people and be a Killer Croc, right? But dude, Killer Croc's a badass.
Oh yeah, he is.
And Batman goes toe to toe with him, and then he outsmarts him. So you can see here he throws a little hypersonic shit that attaches to, that's how we call things here. I don't know the name. It's just a little piece of fucking thing.
Right.
Throws it on his neck, zaps him, fucks them all up. As he's leaving, who shows up? Selena Kyle.
Right. Ass woman. Ass girl.
Yeah, yep. And this is something that we saw a lot of in the Long Halloween too, where, these two back and forth. And I really love their dynamic in the comics. Yes. Like, she's kind of a bad guy. She walks the line a lot. Batman's going to give her a little more leniency than everyone else. He like sees the good in her, or maybe sees other things, a little bit of both.
Even though they actually had a thing at one point, but she's got tired of his Boy Scout shit.
Right.
It's like, this dude is trying to kill me.
Yep.
He's trying to kill you. And you're going to do what?
Right.
Let him go? I don't think so.
Yep. He just can't do it. So he's chasing her down. She comes and snatches the briefcase. And something that happens here. So he's chasing her through the buildings, through Gotham. Very usual for these two.
Right.
But then someone shoots his little grappling hook line here.
Yep.
When he's least expecting it. And dude, my man gets fucked up, bro.
Yeah.
Because you see him big, you see hulkish Batman, but you got to remember he's just a dude.
Right.
He ain't super powered. So he's falling down, he's hitting these statues, broke his shoulder. Dude, he got pretty wrecked.
Right.
Ends up in an alleyway somewhere. Now Catwoman brings the briefcase to your girl Poison Ivy. A nice shot there.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah. And then we realize that shit, fucking these two are working together. What's going on? So this is the second issue, Girls Night Out. You got nice little cover there, Poison Ivy, Batman. And he's down in the alley, and these thugs are trying to, like, it's Batman, let's steal some of his tech and shit. They all get zapped. I love that, too. He's got all his stuff in his suit. Like, well, as a kid, I used to see these comics and just think his suit was a cloth suit.
Right.
Based off of, like, the Adam West Batman.
Yes.
But it's armor.
Correct.
There's armor. There's all kinds of tech in there. Yep. Like, it's
like the Fantastic Four. It looks like cloth, but it's not. It's unstable molecules, and it has all these other features in it.
Correct.
Like, for example, it's kind of like Iron Man's armor, but it's thinner, but it still has gadgets in it.
Right. It's closer to Iron Man than you would think.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's not as bulky, as big. He doesn't have, like, propellers to fly and jets and all that shit. But it's closer to Iron Man's than it is to your traditional Spider-Man suit.
Correct. It's not Daredevil shit.
Correct. So they get zapped. And you see your girl, the Huntress here, dude. Have you, like... You have any exposure to the Huntress outside of this?
No.
She's pretty badass. She's a badass, dude. Yeah. So she's a member, kind of like an extended member of the Bat family. Like, you may not invite them to the birthday party, but she may be at Thanksgiving type shit. So she shows up to help him because he's fucked up, dude. He's going through it right now. She takes out all the thugs. To your point, she's a badass, dude. There's some alleyway thugs, but still, there's only one of her. And she's not super powered either.
No.
Batmobile shows up because it knows Batman's in trouble. That's what you don't see a lot, or I don't think it's talked about enough with Batman, is his tech.
Right.
Like, you're a big tech guy, Iron Man, but I think Batman's tech doesn't rival Iron Man's.
No.
But he's got some shit, dude.
Yeah. It's like when you think about Spider-Man, you think about what? Web slinging, sticking to walls.
Right.
You don't think about his speed. You most certainly don't think about his healing factor.
Yep.
So,
or his strength, which you talked about a few weeks ago.
But even less so his healing factor. So, Batman's tech is like Spider-Man's healing factor.
Right. Yep. So she helps him out. The Batmobile shows up. She helps him get in the Batmobile. And then you can see right in the bottom here, there's some new fella, dude. He's all wrapped up. And obviously, a spoiler, that's Hush. Jim Lee has a really nice way of framing some of these photos. All right.
See, to me, go back.
Yep.
So that bottom panel of Hush overlooking the scenery is how I think they can introduce Dr. Doom. Okay. Except what he's looking down on is Latveria. It's snowing. But they got to pull him back a little bit because they got to get that polar bear in there, dude.
All right, I'm gonna make a promise to you, Adrian. Okay, because you like this polar bear moment. I'm gonna find it in the comics, and we're gonna feature comic moments, and that's gonna be part. Okay,
excellent.
That's gonna be a late Father's Day gift for you. Okay, so spoiler, that's gonna be next week. All right, but I agree with that. They definitely can. They don't show his face, and it's just cool to kind of just drop him in there, like, hey, look. Then you got Poison Ivy here. This kind of is a little, I think, homage to Tim Sale's Poison Ivy. If you remember in Long Halloween, he had a lot of the, the vines everywhere. Like, it was very exaggerate. So she's got the briefcase. Bruce is all fucked up. Alfred's trying to help him out. And in this scene, he utters the name Thomas Elliot. Thomas Elliot was introduced in this comic. He's a childhood friend of Batman. So kind of a retcon. We never heard of him before. And look at this too. So the Gotham Gazette has an article here: Playboy Wayne in near fatal wreck. Because this is, you talk about the Batman Bruce Wayne deal. Right. Well, Batman almost died. What about Bruce Wayne? How do you cover that up?
Exactly.
Dude, he was running. And then this is like later in Batman's career. So he's part of Wayne Enterprise. This ain't, year 1, 2 where he's, in the shadows. Right. Bruce Wayne going missing. It'd be like, Jeff Bezos going missing. Like, where's he been?
Exactly.
So they had to make up something. So what do? They wreck a car. We've seen this in some animation too. Like, just, hey, go wreck a car and say it was. So I thought that was pretty cool. Attention to detail. Obviously, all the news was reporting it. And then Thomas Elliot. So Batman calls for Thomas Elliot. He shows up. He's a world-renowned surgeon from Philadelphia. And he puts my man back together, dude. And then he's a little flashback. How'd you feel about the watercolor flashbacks in this comic?
I think it's cool.
I liked it. Yeah. It gives you that feel of, this is, in the past. And I like the way they weaved it into the story. And then here you got, there you go, Hush reading the article about Batman, and he kind of knows he did his job at least, or Bruce Wayne. So I think that shows you he knows that Batman's Bruce Wayne. Right. Killer Croc again. Look at his cover, dude.
Yeah. It's excellent.
Yeah. And then, so Batman shows up to Arkham because he's like, something's going on with Killer Croc. Why does he want money? What's going on? And then, of course, in Batman going to Arkham to, because Arkham has probably the worst security of any prison in the world. Worst. Is that a fair statement?
The worst.
Like, can you think of any, not even just prison, any place in general? We have better security on this building than they have at Arkham Asylum.
County lockup down the street is better than this.
Seriously.
It's like they got a revolving door for criminals to get out.
Dude, the fucking Subway we go to for lunch has better security. So, yeah, of course, he breaks out. Why wouldn't he? Another nice. I like these little, like, I guess, title screens with the big Hush, and they got this, little mantra of Batman in each issue. Just more of these two fighting. You got Amanda Waller in the background. She's obviously upset because that's just her whole fucking mood. She's kind of a miserable bitch. I mean, cool character though.
But she did the thing that surprisingly other people did, which was, because I don't know if it was a movie, animated movie or a series or whatever, but she basically said that Batman's DNA is all over the city. All we had to do was collect it, and they made clones out of it.
Right. Oh, she's no dummy.
And also, figuring out who he is.
Right. She's no dummy. I mean, she's almost like the Nick Fury of DC, but I think Nick Fury, I would say, walks the line more towards the good guy.
Right.
And Amanda Waller she just dips her toe in the good side, but she's got her methods and ways. Like, I like that we saw her show up in Creature Commandos again as that same character. As much as I'm sitting here to say recast everybody, no, keep her as Amanda Waller. Viola Davis, that is. So Thomas Elliot shows up to Wayne Manor, check on his boy, and here you see a little interaction with Alfred. I think Alfred's one of the most underrated Batman characters.
He absolutely is. I was going to say that too later, but how the skill level that he has across all the different disciplines to be able to support Bruce.
Right.
Because he has to do everything behind the scene. Him and Lucius, they have to do everything and of course, Alfred was there way before Lucius got involved.
Correct.
So he had to have all these disciplines.
Yeah. And I love his wit. He's a sarcastic ass.
Yeah.
Like, and he's even not afraid to give it back to Batman.
Right.
And Batman just kind of lets it gonna do, beat up Alfred.
Yeah, exactly.
And you see a little bit of that here. And here, at least what this does is it tells you that Alfred and Thomas go way back. Like he remembers him as a kid as well. So there's some connection there. So it's not odd for him to show up to check on his boy. Batman's back at it because that's what he does. I think he wears like a enhanced armor suit now because he's been kind of messed up his head and shit. So he's trying to protect himself a little more. And as he's chasing down Killer Croc, I think Amanda Waller says he has till midnight to track him down. It's about approaching midnight, dude. Someone shoots out the Batmobile's tire in the perfect spot, causes this massive wreck. Batman's all fucked up.
Now think about that for a minute. So the Batmobile, also we talk about armor, right? Is armored.
Right.
So they didn't just shoot the rubber out of it. They didn't just put a hole in it and the air goes out.
Right.
They hit it at the exact spot and the entire wheel comes off, right?
Correct.
So you have to know about the mechanics of a car.
Correct.
And specifically about the mechanics of Batman's car.
Right. Yep. Yeah. So you got some inside info.
Exactly.
So this ain't just some random criminal, fucking with Batman. And then Killer Croc and Catwoman meet up.
That's a cool panel.
That really is. He's like biting her and shit. But they're fighting over everyone's fighting over this briefcase now. It's like WWE do Money in the Bank. They're fighting over the briefcase, kind of. And who shows up to save Selena? Your boy, Bats. He's there. He's whooping Killer Croc's ass again because why not? Dude, some of these panels are just awesome. Right. And then the police show up or the feds, because it's past midnight. They're shooting at everybody. I also like these stories where Batman is not 100% on the side of the law, because it adds a whole nother element to it, right? Like they're hunting you along with the criminals. Like you're also breaking the law, dude.
Right.
You're out there beating up people and shit, taking the law in your own hands. Well, hey, do your job. I won't have to, right?
There's that.
All right, this another cool shot here with Gotham behind them. Then you see more of him and Catwoman. They get a little close, Adrian. She puts the lips on him. She makes the move. And if I'm not mistaken, at this point in their relationship, I don't know that they know each other's secret identity yet. He may know hers. I don't remember, so don't quote me on that. Nice little panel. Look what it says at the bottom. Next, Metropolis.
Yep.
All right, nice little cover. Poison Ivy is heavily featured in these first few issues too. And we have all of these issues. I think I'm still waiting on, because they did a reprint of this recently, Hush. So we got the reprints on the website on onlycomicsmerch.com in the comic book section. And we'll have all of them. And once it's said and done, we'll probably put together a couple packages, honestly. So, all right. Metropolis, look at the difference too. Metropolis versus Gotham.
Exactly.
Dude, the sun's shining, couple clouds. It's nice. Wayne shows up on his plane. He's still thinking about Catwoman, dude. She's got that effect on him. Yeah. I think she's got the Riz here, dude.
Yeah,
I don't know.
definitely.
And then he has a little flashback of going to Metropolis as a kid with his buddy Thomas. So that Thomas Wayne and then Thomas Elliot's father were friends as well. Like obviously Thomas Wayne was a surgeon, Elliot was. So they're going to Metropolis for some reason. And then Thomas Elliot is in Metropolis tracking down Wayne. So they have this relationship where Tommy's that friend who's trying to be your friend, and Bruce is like, bro, leave me the fuck alone.
Right.
Like there's several, a lot of the early issues of this comic is Thomas trying to hunt down Bruce. Like he wants to catch up with him. And Bruce is like, I don't want to have a friend at all.
Right.
But it goes back to one of the things that we talked a lot about on here is Bruce is the mask. Right. He wants to be, if it was up to him, he'd be Batman 24/7.
Exactly.
You just delete Bruce. I think Alfred is the one that keeps Bruce around.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Which the questions that I have are, why does Wayne not use his deep pockets to do things like extend his life or make him stronger,
right?
Or, improve his immune system, so he's not subjected to all of this stuff. I mean, he fights Darkseid.
Right,
I mean, it's like superpower beings on a galactic level.
Sure.
Yet he maintains this human thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's that Boy Scout in him, dude.
Yeah. So he's not using his money to do anything to enhance himself.
Sure.
He's only enhancing himself through physical training and whatever the hell else.
He could create
discipline.
A DC, well, it'd be inferior because it's DC, but a DC version of a super soldier serum.
Correct.
And he could make himself as strong as Superman, you know, but no, it's that Boy Scout in him, dude. Hey. He ain't got that dog in him, as they say. So he has this flashback in this title screen of him and Thomas Elliott in Metropolis as a kid, and they see Green Lantern. Right. Old school Green Lantern. I don't know which one that would be. Yeah. An old one.
An old one. But it's a cool suit, though.
Yeah, it is. And the watercolor flashback again, it's snowing, and he's fighting. I didn't take the whole panel, but he's fighting some dude who makes ice and shit, like DC's Iceman, something Frost. Killer Frost, Mr. Frost.
Mr. Frost is the one with the dome on his head, and he shoots it out of a gun.
Okay.
And Killer Frost is the female.
Okay.
So there's no...
It was one of them frosty motherfuckers, bro. That's all I know. So that's not the important part here. And then, he's...
Probably Mr. Freeze, because Mr. Freeze is the only...
No, it wasn't Mr. Freeze. This is when Bruce was a kid. So it was someone else, who knows? Who knows? Yeah. Then you got your girl Lois Lane up in here, dude. Looking all seductive, Adrian. And Bruce shows up, and she's got... You got Clark in the back, like, all cucking out and shit. Because at this point, dude, they're dating, but, Bruce Wayne shows up. Right. No offense, farm boy Clark with $4 to your name. Fucking Bruce Wayne, he brings her flowers, and then she gives him access to the computer. So they're, this, and I'm one thing about comic moments, I'm not going to spoil every detail of the story, why he's in Metropolis. I just want to go over some shit I think's cool. So, Clark's kind of a little jealous here, as he probably should be. I mean, Bruce Wayne walked in, dude. Some more nice shots here. And then we get back to Poison Ivy. So Poison Ivy's in Metropolis. Catwoman's trying to hunt her down. They get in this little fight here. Another cool scene. Of course, Batman is showing up to save Catwoman like every other fucking chapter here, dude. I think she owes him. I'm just saying.
He probably put a tracker in her suit.
Probably. And then what happens here, dude? There's a big room that says there. Big explosion, and it's your boy Superman. He's all shacked up with Catwoman. Yep. This is a funny thing when people...
You mean Poison Ivy?
I mean Poison Ivy. Yeah, hey, cut that out too. I don't want to say anything that's wrong on here. People always, when we did that whole Justice League versus X-Men, they're like, how you gonna mind control Superman? Bitch.
But literally everybody's done it.
Come on.
Freaking Plant did it.
Right. Catwoman did it with some fucking leaves, bro. Knock it off. Very easily.
Poison Ivy, not Catwoman.
What the fuck?
You stuck on Catwoman.
God damn it, motherfucker.
Language.
Shit. Poison Ivy did.
And the movie version of this is excellent too.
It was. Yeah, I did like Hush, the movie. All right. And then you got your boy here under mind control, as people say, can never happen. And dude, it's about to go down. You got Batman versus Supes. Yep. You got a little kaboom over here. And these two take it underground. They're heading up in the sewers. They're running from Superman, or maybe they're plotting. Because maybe we don't all know, but do you know of a piece of jewelry that Batman keeps in his belt for situations like this?
Yeah. Some green glowing thing.
Green stone. Imagine that. Just like Poison Ivy or Catwoman, whatever you want to call her today. But he's got this. There it is. A little kryptonite ring. This is a nice fucking panel too, dude. Just the attention to detail on Batman's face and all, like the mask. I want Jim Lee to draw us,
Yeah. Look at that panel.
Yes. Superman. Dude, I love how jacked Superman is in here too. I like the short ear Batman in this. That mask.
Yeah.
I go back and forth. Like, do you like the big ears? No, you like the short ears.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Before they became fucking antennas or whatever they were in the
or
suit.
as Deadpool would call them, blowjob handles. And dude, wax him with that fucking ring. There you go. Your boy Clark. Oh, Batman can't be Superman. Yeah, it just happened, motherfucker.
Right.
Yep. So he's teeing off on him. A little wham bam. Yeah, there's a lot going on in these panels.
But the other thing I don't get about this is, in order for the kryptonite thing to work, he has to be in proximity.
Yeah.
Right. So if Superman fires his heat vision isn't going to diminish as it gets closer to the kryptonite.
True.
So he can stand a mile off.
Yeah.
His super breath, his heat vision, he has that Hulk clap. There's a lot of things he can do from a distance to defeat anybody that's holding kryptonite. But we got to, got to do that. The up close warfare.
You got to. Well, that's why he lured him into the sewer.
Because he didn't have a choice.
Yeah, he didn't have a choice. Batman's smart, dude.
Yeah.
He is, just like us, he's also genius level intellect.
Yes,
okay,
absolutely.
so.
And a lot of people don't realize, like with Batman, he knows every inch of his city.
Correct.
Because when people like leave like clues, that's what makes him one of the greatest detectives.
Mm-hmm.
Because when people like leave clues or a speck of dirt or a piece of paint, he knows where all of that shit is.
Right. All right. A little more fight in here. And then they realize that the Superman or the Kryptonite, let me go back for a minute. Kryptonite's not going to finish the job. We need to snap this mind control. So Catwoman, she snatches up Lois Lane, walks out on the top of this, Daily Bugle here or whatever, and throws this bitch off the roof or out the window. She goes, Batman's like, oh shit, why do I even bring your ass? And then Superman can't help himself, dude. Right. Clark and Lois. Are they honestly, all jokes aside, are they like one of the best comic couples? Clark and Lois? No?
I mean, I would say yes.
Yeah.
But I also think Batman and Selena Kyle is also a good couple.
Absolutely.
Reed and Sue? Not so much.
Nope. Sorry, Reed. But he saves her, dude. Breaks it. They take the leaves off. And
of course, Batman's going to, yell at Catwoman for, saving his life, potentially.
Yep. That's typical Batman, because you see with the Robins a lot, too. They'll do something that maybe is a little risky.
Right.
But they'll save the day, and Batman's like, good, but why did you do that? Type shit. Like, typical dad, Batman's typical dad. Really is. And look who shows up, bro. Your boy Crypto.
Oh my God. See, look at that dog. That is not a terrier.
I put this in here just for you because I know how you feel about the James Gunn. And then Catwoman's, I was right this time. Catwoman's pissed, so she gives, Poison Ivy one more little dock, as they said right there. This is a cool panel too. Superman behind Batman, as he should be. The leader in the front. And then next episode, Harley Quinn. So I believe that this is the last episode of this week. So this is the opera episode or issue. I like this issue.
Yeah.
You got Leslie Tompkins up in there, Thomas Ellie. He finally got a date with his boy Bruce. And then Bruce brings Selena. This is one of those comics where Bruce and Selena got something going on, and so does Catwoman and Batman. I love the way he draws Selena too. Not to be all gooning out, as they say. Harley Quinn shows up at the opera.
That's someone that's underestimated.
Harley Quinn,
yeah, she's a beast.
Yeah, there's a nice title screen right here. And of course, she's just wrecking house, dude. She's fucking shooting up the place. She's being Harley Quinn, causing some ruckus. And then she snatches this chain that Thomas Elliott has that his mother gave him, this little green ring here, which causes a little flashback to Bruce. Because we got to see Thomas and Martha Wayne dead on the alley, and we just have to, right? Yep. So there it is again. But I like the flashback look. Here she is shooting up the whole place. And then it's cool because you got two people that are superhero, or I guess costume heroes, right? And they're here in their human form, and all this shit's going on. So it's not like Bruce Wayne could just get up and start whipping everybody's ass. They're like, wait a minute, what are you doing, bro? So they're trying to do as much as they can as they sneak out to get dressed up, and Batman comes up.
And out of all of Bruce Wayne's personas, none of them show him as someone that's capable, even though he's a big dude.
Right.
None of them show him capable of defending himself.
Correct.
Because he doesn't want people to even get a glimpse of, well, maybe he can, he did that. But
they probably think it's all show. You're just like a bodybuilder, dude. You're just a big guy. But like if he was like an MMA fighter or something, it might ruin the surprise. I like this. Him dropping down, her shooting at him, of course. And then he throws these little bat, like smoke bombs and stuff. And talk about the detail on them. There's a bat symbol. There's even like some like you're talking about the bottom of the boots. Like he's got like Wayne Tech boots. You might want to chill with that. Right. They might put two and two together there. Snatching up Harley Quinn here, Catwoman. She's got her little costume on too. The big moment in this comic is in the alleyway. So we'll just kind of breeze through these. He finds Catwoman all fucked up. Now he's hunting down Selena. Hunting down Harley Quinn, and he shows up here, and you got Joker standing over Thomas Elliott, who's shot through the heart, as what's his name? John Bon Jovi would say. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like that. So this is the end of this. So it leads to another really awesome scene with Batman Joker. We'll get into next week, right? You know where I'm going with that. All right, so you close up the comic moments. This Hush is one of my favorite comics, period. As much as people say, 8 days DC, I absolutely love this comic.
Yeah.
Actually, go to the wide shot real quick, Adrian, just to give everyone. We do have on onlycomicsmerch.com. We got Batman Hush 20th anniversary edition here. It's a hardcover graphic novel. So you can get these on there. And then these were the reprints I was telling you about. So this is DC's doing this right now. These are the first two. I'm showing you. You know what these are. And then we also have the Batman Hush trade paperback, their graphic novel. So check that out, onlycomicsmerch.com. Cool. I actually just had someone, I think, bought like the first 6 issues from the website. So
cool.
All right. Moving on, Adrian. We got a few more things before we wrap this up. We got We Respond and Hidden Gem. So We Respond, this is where you guys comment and we give you our responses, and we're always very nice and respectful.
Absolutely.
Right? And we would never say anything mean to anyone regardless of what they said to us. That's probably not true.
Probably not true.
But it's fun. I know that part's true. So, all right. Let's see. We're going to shout out to all the interns out there. Actually, we are going to do a toe dip on the Sinners. So let's see. All right. We Respond. We got my man, John Bon Von. He's an intern. He said, I like the split screenshot that y'all have. I think that's my favorite. Okay, John. Cool. Yeah, he likes seeing both of us at the same time, Adrian. I mean, who wouldn't, though, right?
Sure.
I think you also do the majority of the show like that. That's just my opinion. Okay. Jay shot it. 2 for 1 hidden gem this week. Never disappoints. Because you had Reed. We talked about Reed, but you also had, what was it, DC, Mr. Plastic? Or Plastic Man? Or
Plastic Man.
Plastic Man. Who's pretty badass, by the way. He says, never disappoints because I didn't realize Plastic Man was so OP. Yeah, neither did I. I thought he was just like a Reed wannabe. Show gets better every week. Yeah, I agree. I think y'all should do some more Invincible content. It's personal, new favorite of mine. I like the writing, the story, the characters are amazing. Hidden gem suggestions, Forge from the X-Men. That'd be a good one. Forge?
Already did him.
You did Forge?
Yeah, I think so.
We'll have to, actually.
I can revisit, but, I definitely did him. Because he was hooked up with Storm.
That's right.
Right?
Yes. Okay. We'll dig that one out of the crates for you, Jay Shot It. And we got some stuff coming for Hidden Gem, by the way. We're going to get you guys a whole library of our past Hidden Gems real soon. So Maple Grove making Mondays or Tuesdays for me great again. Yes, he's from overseas. Speaking of animated shows, there's an X-Men anime Japanese style. It's like 12 episodes. That was good. I know what you're talking about. Have you seen this?
What's that?
It's a X-Men anime Japanese style show.
I've seen that.
Yeah. You like it?
I did.
He says it mainly featured Beast, Cyclops, Wolverine, Charles, and Jean. It's its own self-contained story, but it's a decent one. I remember when this came out. I was intrigued by it. I just don't know, where the fuck do you watch it at?
I haven't seen it in so long, but also along those lines, again, there's 2 Batman. There's like the new Batman Ninja.
Yep.
There's another one when he goes back in time. There's also
Gotham by Gaslight, maybe? When he chases down Jack the Ripper?
No.
Okay.
He goes back to Japan.
Oh, okay. Got it.
And then there's the Iron Man. There's an Iron Man Japanese animation one too.
I know what you're talking about. I forget what it's called.
Extreme. When he introduced the Extremist armor or something like that.
Did you like that one?
Yeah, it's all good, dude.
We'll have to try to dig those out, dude. I do want to see that X-Men one. He said, I also recently found that there was a Human Torch before Johnny, and it blew my mind. Yeah, it was like that robot shit in the comics, right? Remember the original Human Torch?
Yeah, he was, it was 1940s-ish experiment.
Yeah.
And so he was named, Johnny was named after that Human Torch, I believe.
Okay.
But yeah, there was one before that.
And Sue would solo that one too.
Yep.
And he said that, I was wondering, did you guys know this? Yeah, we definitely knew that. And could he be added to the hidden gem list? Okay. And then he also says, I was saying Cillian Murphy, it's pronounced Killian. Oh, because we spell it with a C in Ireland.
That's right. Killian, the guy in Extremis Iron Man.
No, Cillian Murphy is the actor that people wanted him to play Doom.
Oh.
He's the guy from Inception, the one who sleeps on the plane. They go up inside his head and mind fuck him. That's a movie badly explained, right? Bunch of guys go in a guy's head on an airplane and mind fuck him for 24 hours. And then the guy gets his kids back and he likes to spin a top. That's Inception for you. Okay. Have you seen Inception?
No. Is that with
Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yeah. It's because of him.
What?
I don't like him, dude. I don't like him.
You ever seen the Titanic?
I did. But
dude, Inception is it's an all-time great, bro. It is.
Oh my God.
I'm telling Adrian, forget it. Whatever other movie that I told you and you wrote, Inception, dude. Inception is an all-time great. Christopher Nolan. It's about lucid dreaming and I actually, no bullshit, I think you would really like it. It's a lot about subconscious mind and lucid dreaming and dream sharing and shit like that.
I think you like because it has like a devil's lettuce kind of feel to it.
Yeah, I like because Leo's in it, Adrian. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right, so Killian, as they say. Dark Side Raider, another week, another banger. Yes, great show, gentlemen. That's gonna be on a shirt real soon, guys. Shit, the next comment, the Captain Canada, let's go. AWAB. So I think he's the one that coined that phrase. We don't need balls in the I'm sorry. We don't need Bella. I don't know why I don't zoom in. The fucking laptop's way over there, and I'm sitting here squinting like I'm my grandfather trying to read the TV guide. Remember TV guides?
Yeah.
We don't need
because we used to have to program the VCRs off the little codes that they start putting in the TV guide.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
That's back in the day, bro. Now it's just on streaming for eternity.
Yo, Fonzie is gonna come out with a show that talks about like what we talked about, giving somebody else more ideas, right? Remember we did the one about like old stuff. Like VCRs and stuff like that. Yep. Well, Fonzie's going to come out with a show about that, the lawn darts and the radioactive shit.
Is he a member? He's an intern?
No. Come on, dog. They don't do. They just steal. They just steal. Our interns don't steal.
Right.
But other people watch us and then they steal our ideas.
But we talked about that on other stuff. So he must have someone covert. We're gonna have to purge the internship and see if Fonzie's on there. Fucking stealing our shit, Fonzie.
Hey, you go to OnlyFans and steal their shit, you could probably get ours.
Yeah, exactly. So at least give us a shout out or something.
Nah, they want to. They don't want to do that.
Nope. Oh shit, your Captain Canada says we don't need Bella in the MCU unless she's the mole man.
Actually. I mean, because think about the way he looks, right? With the glasses on.
Yeah.
A piece of paper with 2 pencil holes in it.
Oh my God.
There we go.
Okay. All right. Hey, he said it, not me. I just read it. Don't get mad at me. I thought John Krasinski was a great read and would have been a good choice for the new Fantastic Four movie. He definitely had to look down. I don't know acting.
I would have rather him than Pedro Pascal.
Really?
Yeah.
I think that Pascal has more depth as an actor. But I do agree that Krasinski has to look down more. Now,
have you seen Krasinski in the movies about like Quiet or the one aliens invade and they can't see, they're attracted to noise, and like I think he was in like the first one.
Yeah.
So very good in that. And he was also the CIA operative. He took over from Ben Affleck. I forget what it is. It's like based off of a book.
Okay.
So I like him as an actor.
All right. So you think he could do it? He could pull it off. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, if we see Council of Reeds, shit, bring him back.
Yeah.
We could be one of the Reeds Council of Reeds is pretty fucked up, by the way. The more I'm reading into this, holy shit, dude.
Well, you gotta be.
You do. You do. I think DC has shat the bed so much, now the mattress is all brown. Yeah, it's not good. Let's see what happens with Superman. I think Superman will be good. I really do.
Yeah.
Maybe
but not as good as Fantastic Four, though.
Correct. Yes, that part. Question for you guys. Apart from Millionaire, and the Magneto helmet in the studio, do you guys have any cool display pieces at home? I have Cap Shield, Millionaire, Stormbreaker, Thor helmet from Love and Thunder. You do splits in that, dude? Captain Canada, are you doing splits in the Thor Love and Thunder helmet holding Millionaire up there? Millionaire. And small scale Iron Man helmet. Oh, you got a lot of shit, bro. Both Infinity and Nano Lego gauntlets and Boba Fett himself. I use mostly for cosplay. Thanks again. I don't have a lot of shit like that at home.
No, I don't think I got at home is my my Crocs.
They got the Crocs with all the Marvel
shit. With the Marvel shit on it, yeah.
I went on a Star Wars Lego kick, and this was a little bit before COVID and probably through COVID. When my kids were young, I would get the big sets, we'd build them together. So I have a box in my basement that has the Star Destroyer, the Millennium Falcon, TIE Fighter, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with this shit now. Because they're built. They used to be on shelves in my living room, but then I got tired of dusting them just to fucking look at them.
Right.
So I had those, but outside of that, I want to get the Cap Shield. I pre-ordered the Dr. Doom helmet, so that will be here, I think, in August. But no.
I do have, I have, not at home, but in my office.
Yeah.
I have the Iron Man.
Oh, the pop vinyl.
Thing, but pop vinyl Iron Man. I also have this cool, I was in Puerto Rico a couple years ago, and somebody put together like an Iron Man.
Oh, yeah.
thing.
You've had it here before.
I've had it here before.
Yep.
It's like out of different scrap pieces of metal.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It looks awesome.
Yeah,
it looks awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. And I got a Stormtrooper helmet. I recently acquired.
Yeah, you recently acquired that. Imagine that. Yep. And then I have artwork. Like, shit, I got a few things on the wall. Matter of fact, what you guys see right here, I just took from my living room. I was walking away. So what are you doing with that? I'm going to bring it to the studio. We'll buy something else.
And I got the cool 3D laser print where if you look at it one way, it's all the Marvel superheroes, but then you look at it a different way, it's all the Marvel villains.
Yep. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's almost like a hologram type thing.
Yeah, holographic
switches
thing.
By the angle. Yep. So, a couple things. But we're going to start getting some more, dude. I do want to get a Cap Shield for here somewhere, hang it up, whatever. Hold it the whole time, maybe. Never know. You know what's going to happen here. All right.
No, get the Batman helmet with the big ears.
Yes. Yeah, the ones that, like damn near touch the ceiling. I do have a pop vinyl collection, too, in boxes somewhere. Early ones. All right, bro, man, Williams. He made it through this week because he's cussing too much on here, bro. He cleaned it up, my man. What's up, Mike and Adrian? AWAB, he says. Yeah, bro, I probably should stop cussing. I can't help it. I used to be a wrestler, and I played WWE 2K and Madden online. So, you have to talk shit on those. Right. I guess I'll do PG-13 in my comments. Keep up the good work and advise all to hop on other stuff. It's platinum over, bro. Never a dull moment. I agree. It is platinum over there. Y'all should hop on other stuff. Check out the description. There's a link. Sign up for the membership. It's all of $4.99 a month. You get an extra podcast where it's a lot of other stuff. It's deep diving.
Definitely
we did a deep sea dive last week.
Right.
I was thinking about that driving over the bridge today. I'm like, Adrian told me there's rivers in the ocean.
Correct.
It's fucking crazy.
Yep.
All right.
Just like there are jet streams in the sky.
There you go.
Right?
Yep. Sons of Sekhmet. He's got a few here. We'll read them in a row. Silver Fox and the Unaliver. Love it. Yes, yes. You need an illustration. We do need an illustration. Dude, are any of y'all like artists? Draw us as Silver Fox as a challenge, and I'll send you a free t-shirt. Hey. Draw if we like it. If we don't, we'll just pretend we never received the email. I just played it. He also says Marvel Mental Fatal 4-Way. Reed Richards versus Doctor Strange versus Doctor Doom versus Mr. Sinister. I think Doom. I would go with Doom. Although Doctor Strange,
it'll be Strange, dude.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
The interdimensional thing. First of all, he's going to get rid of his greatest threat, and then he'll deal with the other ones.
Yeah, true.
Even though Sinister, that little mind control thing. So,
it's badass. I mean, it'd be a good fight.
Yeah.
Maybe next week on Versus, dude, we'll go through that one.
I don't know. I think the first one to go would be Richards, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Get his fucking stretchy ass out of here. Reed is a master like Brody confirms in Mallrats. He can stretch any part of his body. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Once you talked to him, he can stretch some parts for Sue.
Yeah, well, apparently that wasn't good enough either. So,
once again, another great podcast. Another vote for Beta Ray Bill. Yes, absolutely. Slapper Wrestling, our boy Slapper, another banger podcast. Appreciate your suggestions and the shout outs. I'm going through all the animated shows and movies after Fantastic Four. I'll watch X-Men animated series. Oh, you definitely got to check that out. I just bought 6 Batman animated movies, one in a crossover with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I never seen that one.
Nah, me either.
I also asked for Psycho Man because he was in the Fantastic Four show, but he did get dealt with easily. Another hidden gem suggestion is Manifold. I don't even know what that is.
Me either.
Like an exhaust manifold? Probably not. I forgot to ask a couple questions. Sorry, man. You don't apologize for your comments being long, dude. Write as many as you want. Adrian, would you review the new Predator movie and the animated one? And then Mike, if you had to cast 2 wrestlers as comic book characters who haven't been done in live action, who would it be? All right. Predator movie. Have you seen it?
I have not. I've been trying to find it.
Okay.
I think it's on Hulu.
Yeah.
And I don't have Hulu. And I was trying to go through Disney, but then Disney cock blocks me and said, well, you need a Hulu account.
Got it. Okay. Hulu's like the one you don't have.
Yeah.
It's just like exactly. 200 of them. And he says, also, maybe Thor doesn't die, but becomes Galactus' new herald in the MCU. It just happened in the comics. Yeah. So never know. 2 wrestlers as comic book characters that haven't been done. And like, I'm going to have to put some thought into that. Because I like that question because you always talk about the look, right?
Right.
Pro wrestlers most of them have a perfect look for comic book characters. Right. Like Randy Orton's one where I could see him being someone in these comic book movies. Dude, he's a massive guy. I mean, Roman Reigns, he's got the look. He kind of has like that Jason Momoa look, like the big old Samoan. Who would I cast him? I'm gonna put some thought in that because there's definitely some good castings options in there. All right, Brandon Jones, genuinely not surprised about the white Black Panther. Yeah. I mean, come on, after Black Spider-Man and Captain America, they can't let black people look too cool, LOL.
Wow.
Yeah, that's it, dude. They're like, we gave you guys these, now we're taking Black Panther. The fucked up part is a black dude that did it, though, you know?
Yeah.
By the way, got the omnibus on my doorstep in great condition. Thank you guys. Absolutely, man. Thanks for ordering.
But the thing about Spider-Man is that they didn't make Peter Parker black.
Correct.
This is a whole different universe.
Right.
Of a different type of Spider-Man, right?
But so is this, but it's just different with Black Panther, Wakanda, the history, an African country. It's just different, in my opinion. It ain't like, oh, Captain America going from white to black. Well, believe it or not, black people are born in America, dude. I don't know if y'all knew that or not. Like, but the previous Black Panthers were all Wakandans.
Correct.
Like Black African Wakandans.
Right. This is lineage here.
Correct. Not some fucking white dude off the street. Like, come on, dude. Anyways, that dude Pablo. What was that?
Anyway.
Okay. That dude Pablo, no, don't shun the haters. I like hearing the buzzer go off and the intern sounding off on those smooth brain himbo sapiens. Okay. New segment suggestion: mock the miserables or salty spotlight. Eat Beef Yummy says Reed is the smartest human in Marvel. The Beyonder is hands down the smartest being. It's not a competition. I haven't heard what Adrian says yet. Oh, he said this early in the podcast, and then you confirmed that that's not the case. Reed was not the smartest human in Marvel.
Well, he was until he had kids.
True.
And then from that came others.
Right.
Because if you think about it, most of the smart people are younger than Reed, right?
True.
So Reed and Sue had his daughter, whatever her fucking name is.
Valeria.
Valeria.
Yep.
And then if you look at all the other smart people, the chick that's going to be the new Iron Man.
Yep.
T'Challa's sister.
Yep, sure.
And then the other chick that's skateboarding around Manhattan, they're all young. So they're all Valeria's age. So yeah, at one point Reed was the smartest man on the planet.
Yeah, absolutely. Drunken Legend says, AWAB boys, well done. When will Marvel learn don't fix what ain't broke? What the fuck is a white Black Panther? Right. It's exactly what it is. What the fuck? Mimo Garcia, hey guys, another awesome show. Is there a way I can 3D print stuff to you guys and send it to you? Yeah, actually, hey, send me my email's on YouTube, or it's just realmikesizer@gmail. Shoot it over, we'll talk. Or DM me on somewhere. Walla West, love Spotify Plus for music. The best thing is watching ad-free. Savage Hope will be great. Also, if we get Sauron and Fing Fang Fume. Fing Fang Fume. That's the dragon motherfucker, right?
Yeah, that's the whole Iron Fist thing.
Okay. Another great show this week. This is JD Kiwi. New segment, t-shirt ideas. Another week, another banger. I like that. The math is not math. Yeah, we got to get the math ain't mathin' shirt, because sometimes, Adrian, the math ain't mathin'.
Yeah, a lot of times. In DC world, the math ain't mathin'.
Balls slapping the lettuce. Love you. What's that t-shirt? A lot of people want that shirt. I may have to cave and make that one. All right, let's see. We'll read a couple more. AWAB, another AWAB. Sorry, not an intern yet, but we'll eventually. Hey, we'll be here for you when you're ready, bro. Thank you for the great episode. Love to help get through work. You guys should create a Discord so people can drop verses, ideas, and chat. That's a good idea. All right, and then let's see, one last one. C's, AWAB. Guys, we got a report for Thor 5. Our glorious king won't die after all. Forget all y'all haters. We just want good content. I'm talking to you, James Gunn. I'm hoping for Fantastic Four and Superman to hit, but I got more faith in Marvel right now. And I think that is true. Like, as much as, we talked about how they've not been knocking them out of the park lately, but as a whole, dude, if I'm betting on Marvel over DC right now.
Right. Absolutely.
But I do hope they both succeed because good competition, dude, sparks better quality. So, all right, Adrian, speaking of better quality, who is the hidden gem this week? Do you tease a little bit earlier?
Yeah. So this week's hidden gem, it's going to be a short one. We got a lot, into a lot of time right here. But so this was a request.
Okay.
The Night Thrasher. Now, I never heard of him before, but basically, this is I won't say it's an attempt at a Batman, a Marvel Batman, but it is a Batman-esque kind of a character. He is not a metahuman. He's not a mutant. He has no superpowers like Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
So anyway, the guy's name is what is the guy's name? Did I write the guy's name? Anyway, I get to that. So basically, like Bruce Wayne, his parents were killed right in front of him.
Yep.
Right. Not in the alley. The parents' name weren't, Martha, but
and he's Marvel. This guy.
Yeah. This is a Marvel.
Dwayne Taylor.
Yeah, there you go.
Night Thrasher.
So he was the son of a billionaire industrialist.
Okay.
Like Bruce Wayne.
Boy Bruce.
His parents were involved in the Vietnam War, and his father found out some stuff that he shouldn't have found out about, and he was taken out. But then there was this chick that did some brainwashing on the son, even though his parents died in front of him. She did some mind trickery on him to kind of cloud up his memory of the event, so he couldn't really tell who did the killing, so on and so forth. But come to find out, the one that had his parents killed was the one that he actually ended up being his guardians and stuff like that.
Okay.
So he also, like Bruce Wayne, inherited a lot of money, and he was grew up as an industrialist. Again, Bruce Wayne had access to a lot of money, had access to tech. He himself, could create things, so on and so forth. So pretty much along the lines of the Batman kind of thing. Now, he formed a team called the New Warriors that he actually modeled after the Fantastic Four, with himself being
so he formed
the
Reed
Reed Richards.
He formed the New Warriors. Okay.
Correct. And then he got to some point where, he kind of bowed out of that, became more of a philanthropic person. But really just, he had a lot of adventures. He's skilled enough, right, to go up against the Punisher. He's been involved with the Avengers. He was involved in the superhero act.
Yeah.
Involved with the X-Men, X Factor, all that kind of stuff. So basically, a Bruce Wayne kind of character. Had a little tech in his suit. Now his suit, what we were just talking about earlier, where Bruce Wayne, Batman's suit we thought was more cloth, but it's actually armor. Well, he actually does wear an armor that looks like clothing.
Okay.
So, he's gone through a couple of those, but it's not like an Iron Man armor where it makes him fly, but it does protect him against, ballistics, knives, things like that. He has a couple other things like, sticks and things like that. But he gets around on this super-powered skateboard, apparently. And interestingly enough, when this character was evolved back in 89, people were asking about what kind of character, because they wanted to break into the teenage population.
Yeah.
So they were asking around about what character, if there was one that was existing, that would be popular. And everybody was talking about this Night Thrasher. So they pivoted on that, and they came up with the New Warriors, him starting the New Warriors, because they wanted to create a whole team of kind of teenage superheroes. And actually, this comic book character, Night Thrasher, was outselling men's magazines back in the day.
Really?
And by men's magazines, we talking about like Playboy, Hustler, things like that.
Okay.
So very popular character. And this whole character and everything that came out of him was based around, pretty much teenagers. So, I mean, obviously he didn't bubble up throughout the years. And at what point he kind of got killed off.
Yeah.
Or at least they thought that it was him, but it was actually like his, kind of like a stepbrother.
Yeah.
That got killed off in his suit. So he just kind of disappeared.
Got it.
But I mean, it's an interesting character, but again, he's kind of modeled after other people. There's really nothing unique about him, but still also good to know.
Yeah, you mentioned Civil War, and in the before the Superhero Registration Act was created, he was involved in an incident that led to that creation. He was among the 4 New Warriors that were they were filming that reality TV show, and then Nitro destroyed part of Stanford, he actually killed Night Thrasher and several hundred civilians, which then led to Superhero Registration Act. So it kind of played a big part of at least the beginning of that story. There you have it, Night Thrasher. So before we get into, before we wrap up with Agree to Disagree, Sinners, Adrian. Yeah. You said to me last week that this movie was better than The Matrix, okay? You said that. And then
did I say better, or did I say I'm replacing it, The Matrix with the Sinner?
That's what you said.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, you know what? I'll ask you a question about that later. But now, you know me, I'm not a big Matrix fan.
Yep.
Like, so to me, that's probably not crazy to say it's better. But to hear you say it, I was like, that's crazy. Now, I would say when the things you said about this movie last week, I said this to you offline. It felt like a little glaze, Adrian. It did. But I watched the rest of the movie.
Yep.
I would give this movie a 7.5 out of 10.
Okay.
What would you give it?
I would say 9.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of the few times in life you're higher than me.
Yep.
So in a lot of ways.
Yep.
But I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think what you said about Michael B. Jordan playing the 2 brothers,
right,
it was spot on, dude. It was he really established each of those characters, right? Smoke and Stack. A lot of the casting, I think, was on point. Very good acting. The cinematography was off the charts.
Yeah.
Like, just the look of this show or this movie was phenomenal. The story, I like the setting. I obviously not from Mississippi. You are, and you're from an area close to where this portrays. Or?
Yeah. I mean, I was too young to obviously go to these places, but I heard, my uncles and, family members going to Clarksdale.
Okay.
We were that close.
Got it.
So, where we were, it was nothing to do.
Got it.
So they would go out to these other places, and Clarksdale was one of the towns that I heard a lot of.
Where most of the movie takes place.
Correct.
Yeah. And so but I like the setting. I'm a big fan of good period pieces. Like this was it took place in the 30s. And I like how they portray that era in this. I guess the beginning of the movie, the first maybe half, almost makes you forget that it's a horror movie.
Right.
Like, I knew it was a horror movie going into it, but it kind of made me forget that, and then you're reminded at the end. I like that music scene.
Yes.
Dude, that's one of the highlights of this movie. It was just really cool.
Absolutely.
And I see why you called it a musical. There's some singing at the end. I mean, it's not full-blown throughout, but I like the blues element of this. I think that really helped kind of make this movie different. So I think it was different enough of what we're used to.
Right.
What about you? What were some high spots for you in this movie?
Dude, it was a lot.
Yeah.
The prison chain gang thing.
Yeah.
The talk about why money leaves hands so quickly. The whole church and faith thing. So it was just a lot that hit home for me.
Yeah.
And I mean, we'll I guess we can dig deeper in the other stuff.
Yeah.
But just for me, it wasn't about the cinematography. It wasn't about the things that happened. I knew about those things.
Okay.
But the bigger thing is that it was suggested that I watch it, right? Mm-hmm. And someone here suggested that, I watch it. But we had just talked about a week or two before about how the Chinese interact, with both the black and the white, and what policing meant back then, what even, black people in the prison system meant. And then this movie comes out and it portrays all of that stuff. And I'm like, holy crap, so it meant a lot of things to me in different ways, just beyond the fact that the movie was made. Yeah. But the other big thing to me is, all right, so you got the Chinese calendar, and it's got all these animals on it, right? The pig, the cow, the bull, the snake, the this and that. Then they got a dragon on it.
Correct.
Right. So it's like, why would the Chinese put all these real animals on it and then this supposedly fictitious animal?
Correct.
The dragon. Right. So I'm looking at this movie. So we know about the slavery, the cotton picking, the music. Yeah. And the music means something completely different in Sinners, right? Right. And the different races and all this other kind of stuff, right? But then you introduce vampires. So why would you have all of this stuff that we know about and then introduce something that supposedly is fiction? Yeah. The vampire element, right? So that kind of got me wondering too. So it was a lot. It was really a lot.
Are you saying that vampires might be real, Adrian?
I don't know.
Never know. That's stuff we talk about on others. You want that? We get that on other stuff. Now, are you a fan of vampire content? Like,
Absolutely.
You are. Okay.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm not crazy about it.
Your bad boy.
I know, dude. Twilight, bro. Bedward, as you call them. Bedward. Yeah, Battinson, my boy. But yeah, I'm not big. Like, I wouldn't go watch something because it's vampire, right? Kind of like zombie stuff. I'm not gonna watch it just because it's zombie. It's got to be a good movie too,
right?
But I like the vampire element. But it's funny because I think that I liked it, but it also brought the movie back down for me because now I'm like, now it just feels like a horror vampire movie. The ending,
yeah.
But yeah, I really like the music piece and that whole idea that certain music can maybe tap into certain, I guess, forces like evil in this. Like it's kind of like if you start playing P. Diddy records, I think on repeat. I'm not sure if this happens, Adrian, but I'm pretty sure a male prostitute's going to show up to your house with baby oil. I heard that might happen. I don't know.
Maybe your house. Oh, yeah. No, but the music element, it does, and we can definitely deep dive into this and the other stuff about how we talk about frequencies and the other stuff and how there's different universes or and the only thing that separates them, or even beings like ghosts and things like that. And the only thing that separates us is a frequency. Well, correct. So music, specifically African music, is depicted as being able to create frequencies that empower, enable, and do all these other things. So it's not just it sounds good. Right. But of course, the government figured that out, and then they did some other things and blah, 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 blah. But we can get into that later.
That's the other stuff.
That's the other stuff. But that's why I think that one music scene was so captivating and so powerful, because it showed everything from the African dance, and then it brought in, the Chinese stuff, from back in the day, and then it rolled all the way up to the hip hop. And I mean, it was just transcending, not in just time, but in other ways as well.
Right. This movie's been like universally critically acclaimed. Like even Rotten Tomatoes, the critic score is 97, the audience score is 96.
Wow.
And the audience score is based on 25,000 verified reviews. So 25,000 people that actually saw this movie, 96% of them gave it a positive review.
I'm surprised Rotten Tomato gave it a 97.
Well, they pulled 371 reviews because we talked about how they score reviews here.
Right.
And of those 371, 97% of them were positive. So, I mean, everyone's loving this movie. There's a 2 hour, 17 minutes. It didn't feel too long. It felt like a good, and it's the genre is horror, mystery, and thriller / drama. So I think it kind of nailed all of those. Yeah. But yeah, it was, I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. So, all right, Moving on. We're going to wrap up real quick. Agree to disagree. Are you ready, Adrian?
Let's do it.
Rapid fire these. These are my opinions as of today. They could change probably by the time you're watching this. Who the fuck knows? Guarantee you one thing. Someone's going to be upset. So
let's fucking go.
All right. Number one, Gal Gadot should not play Wonder Woman in the DCU.
Agree.
Sue would beat Johnny Storm so quick it happened in a post-credit scene.
I agree.
Bruce Wayne is the mask and Batman's the real identity.
Agree.
Dr. Pepper is better than Pepsi and Coke.
I disagree.
Black Panther would beat Batman. We're not talking prep time. No prep time.
Yes, I agree.
Sinners was better than Zack Snyder's Justice League.
I agree.
Sinners was better than The Matrix.
I agree.
Oh, you agree with me?
Yeah.
Snap. No more Thor splits.
No more Thor splits at all.
At all. And everybody watching, last one, should go to our YouTube page and check out other stuff. It's our other podcast where we deep dive into conspiracies, movies, pop culture, whatever you name it.
Right.
They should go do that.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, hey, Adrian, thanks for coming out today. Another great show, another fun show here. We appreciate it all checking out. As you guys say, another week, another banger.
Absolutely.
It's another banger.
But before we go,
yes,
I want to, put Father's Day in perspective.
Okay.
All right.
Oh,
so I'm looking at, how popular is Father's Day?
Yeah.
Because, what happens on Father's Day? Well, what happens on Mother's Day? It's all about mom, right? And everybody, the whole world stops for mom.
Correct.
But then when Father's Day comes around, we got to get involved in our own day.
Right.
Right. So let's go down. Like, what are the more popular holidays? Or where does Father's Day fall into this?
Damn.
Right? All right. So, number one, Christmas.
Okay.
We understand that.
Yep.
Thanksgiving.
Okay. Yep.
Halloween. Yep. So, fake stuff is more popular than Father's.
Sure.
Easter. The whole rabbit candy thing.
Or if you believe in the resurrection of your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Yes. Then, Mother's Day.
Yep.
Mother's Day is number 5. Well, according to today.
Damn.
It was different probably last year, probably all the previous years.
Okay.
Then we got New Year's Day.
Wait, so Mother's Day's above New Year's?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Then you got New Year's. Well, so you got New Year's Day, number 6, and then New Year's Eve.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
number 7.
2 days.
Right?
You can't just call that one holiday.
No.
Okay.
Then you got 4th of July, Valentine's Day.
Oh my God.
Right? So basically more mother stuff. And then Father's Day. Father's Day is number 10.
Shit.
And then a little bit after that, you got Memorial, Veterans, Super Bowl Sunday, Labor Day, Martin Luther King Day, Election Day. Okay.
At least we beat Election Day.
At least we beat that. Earth Day, Juneteenth, St. Patrick's, and then, the boy that didn't discover anything, Columbus Day, number 20. So we're at least above Columbus Day.
Okay, at least we're above Columbus Day.
Which should have been like, a fictitious day kind of a deal, but we celebrate all this other stuff.
Damn.
So in perspective, Father's Day is number 10 on the list.
Damn.
Mother's Day, number 5. It's been so long. I just want to put in perspective. I don't really have a feeling about it because Father's Day to me feels like work.
Yeah.
Because because what's the first question that comes up? Hey, what do you want to do for Father's Day?
Right.
Which turns out to be, well, what do you want me to do for you on Father's Day that you think I'm going to like?
Exactly.
So
Yep.
Anyway.
And if it wasn't for us, there would be no Mother's Day, dude.
You
probably had a headache that day. And guess what? We pushed through. So if it wasn't for us, there'd be no Mother's Day. But you know what?
Absolutely.
Happy for us, today, Father's Day is the number 1 holiday.
Absolutely.
Okay? So happy Father's Day to all you out there. Happy Father's Day again, Adrian. And to all the great fathers from the comics, Thomas Wayne.
And I will say this. For those single mothers, happy Father's Day to you because I know it's hard.
100%.
I know it's hard.
100%.
So happy Father's Day to the single mothers that are raising children on their own.
And even though we're talking shit, that's probably one of the reasons why Father's Day is so damn low. Because a lot of y'all motherfuckers out there that ain't fathers, but should be. So fuck all y'all. Everyone else, happy Father's Day. Anyways, Adrian, thanks for coming out.
Absolutely.
Guys, thanks for joining. Subscribe if you haven't already. Head over to other stuff. We'll see you there Wednesday. We're going to finish the Sinners Talk and get into God knows what with us. It could be aliens. It could be a P. Diddy update. You have no fucking idea. We did a deep sea dive last week. Yep. We talked about MK Ultra. We might be under mind control doing this. Who the fuck knows,
right?
That's going to be a
shirt.
If
you can control Superman with a flower, we're probably going to talk about some crazy shit.
Absolutely. And you should subscribe. So we'll see you next week right here on Only Comics, and we'll see you on other stuff this Wednesday.
All right. Peace.